how sweet to be an idiot.
Yep, Charlamagne the God.
Andrew Schultz.
We are the Brilliant Idiots, and this episode is brought to you by our friend Tristan Walker and the good people at Bevel, the first and only shaving system designed specifically for coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Check out getbevel.com today. Use code FREEIDIOTS to get your first month of Bevel membership free at getbevel.com. That's GETBEVEL.com.
Yo, San Francisco.
No, you got to do Squarespace first.
Oh, we do. My bad. I wasn't looking at the
There,
thing.
there you
Yo,
go.
My bad.
There you go.
I didn't know we had two pre-rolls winning. Where are we? I don't see this.
See, first page.
Yeah. Oh, this episode is also brought to you by Squarespace.
There you go.
Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your ideas. Squarespace features an elegant interface, beautiful templates, and incredible 24/7 customer support. Start building your website today at squarespace.com. Enter offer code IDIOT at checkout to get 10% off. Squarespace, build it beautiful. That was a good read.
Yeah. Now,
Usually I have a couple of hiccups, but I thought I read really well right there.
Now, San Francisco, you ready for some dick talk?
Dick segment, let's go.
I know you are, because you're always top 3 when it comes to gayest cities in America.
That's right. So we need to hear some sass when we drop that
That's
dick
right.
talk.
When we say dick talk, I want to hear yes. Yes. Dick talk. That's what I came for. But we're going to be there tomorrow.
Friday, yeah, we leave tomorrow.
What's the name of the venue?
Well, it's Wednesday when we're recording this today, but yeah.
What's the name of the venue?
Palace of the Arts.
Palace of the Arts.
Go get your tickets. It's going to be crazy. It's our first time on the West Coast. I'm very excited about it. And
so you can still walk up and get tickets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can still get some tickets.
You got an address, or do people know where that's at? Or
I mean, they got Google.
Palace of the Arts. Let me see, because there's a lot of people out there who don't be fucking with Google like that.
Who doesn't use Google?
Our flyer doesn't have an address on it anyway, so we're going to be having to use Google as well.
If you go to eventbrite.com, right, and then just put in Brilliant Idiots, you're going to see the event. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah, I just noticed the flyer don't even have where it's at.
It doesn't.
No.
Well, it has the Eventbrite link.
Y'all really got a lot of faith in people.
You know
y'all be having a lot of faith
I didn't
in
make
people.
the flyer. I didn't make the flyer. I can't stand behind the flyer. I just post it on Instagram. They give me the flyer, I post
Hey,
it.
man, y'all be having a lot of faith in people to click links and all kind of shit, man. People, that takes a lot of work. Those are for people who actually do more than just scratch the surface.
Yes. He was overestimating our demand. I don't even need to put the venue. They're coming out no matter
They're going to
what.
click this link.
They're like,
3301 Lion Street, as in Lucius Lyon. 3301 Lion Street. Lyon?
Yeah.
That's how Lucius spells his last name.
There we go, Lucius. I don't even know who Lucius Lyon is.
From Terrence Howard and Empire.
Oh, I don't watch that show.
So what is it? 3301?
3301 Lion Street.
San Francisco. 3301 Lion Street, San Francisco, California. We're going to be there this Friday. What's it called?
The Palace of the Arts.
And what time does it start?
I think 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I think 8. So yeah, make sure you check that out. It's going to be fun. Also, while we're talking about live shows, Greg edited a full version, or an hour special, if you will, of our Gotham live performance, right? We had a whole film crew there, and Greg had, basically done all the production work. He hired all the people, and we shot it, and he edited it. It took him a long time. And what we're going to do is do a little experiment. We're going to put it on youtube.com/TheAndrewSchultz, and it's going to be available right now. It's already available. Thursday at 10 a.m. it's available, and it's going to be for 99 cents. 99 cents. We're going to sell it. It's like we're putting out a movie. Brilliant Idiots is branching out. I'm very excited about this experience. So we're going to put it out there. It's an hour, and, all the crazy things that happen at, Gotham. If you want to see the girl that says she slept with Wax, you want to see the reactions of all these people. We're doing Dick Talk, Dick Segment, all this kind of shit like that. Check it out, man.
This is the point where people realize they don't really fuck with us like that. They like, you know what, man? I like them when they free.
Maybe.
But when you got to pay that 99 cents for them, I ain't fucking with them too tough.
Yeah, we're going to see if you like
How much those live show tickets? Nah, I ain't fucking with them. I like the podcast, but all the other shit they be doing, that branching out they talking about, nah, I ain't fucking with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Love is expensive, guys.
Yeah.
Okay? This free love is done. Now, Greg put a lot of work into it, man. This guy put hours and hours into editing this special, so I think it deserves a monetary value, and I stand behind that. And as soon as we get sponsors to pay for that, then we'll stop charging you
Hey,
guys.
man, you got to put your dick in the water sometime, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? See what the temperature of this water is. You know what
That's
I'm
what you do. I put my toe.
That's
you go dick first.
Because your balls are more sensitive. Your dick and balls are more sensitive. The toe don't always touch the tail. Yeah, you put your little toe in there and it's like, oh, this shit feel kind of warm.
It's
and you
cold.
sit down and it's like, hot motherfucker. Put your balls in there, you know immediately, you know what I'm saying, what that shit feel like. Listen, the Antichrist is about to be the GOP candidate. You know, Trump, Clinton. That's what it's looking like it's about to be.
Did you hear what they said today?
What?
You know Boehner, the guy Boehner
From Batman?
Was he in Batman? No, John Boehner. Was he a senator or he was a former Speaker of the House?
Yeah.
He was the guy behind Obama making faces when Obama made his speeches all the time. Yeah. Anyway, this motherfucker said today that if they get to the convention and nobody has enough delegate votes on the Republican side, he's going to nominate Paul Ryan.
Oh, no, they've been saying that. They've been saying that when they get to the convention that it might not be enough delegates and they're going to pick who they want. Because Governor Christie came out and said it would be dead wrong if the Republicans pick somebody other than Donald Trump. So clearly this is some shit that's already being said like, this motherfucker think he about to rep us. He out his goddamn mind.
But I didn't know that it was possible someone who wasn't even in the talk of it.
I'm sure they got a vote. I'm sure it's like a vote.
Yeah, there's a vote. It's basically like House of Cards. Like, what is happening this season? Have you seen House of Cards this season?
I don't watch House of Cards.
I'm not going to tell you what happened this season in House of Cards, but what is happening this season in House of Cards is fucking what's happening right now in the real world. It's crazy. It's crazy that the real world is mirroring House of Cards and not the other way around. But regardless, my point is they're just nominating anybody at this point. Like, that's how fed up they are with Trump.
Listen,
even Republicans don't like Trump. Well, that's the crazy shit.
They hate him, but they also hate Ted Cruz. This is the funny thing.
Do they hate Ted?
Oh, they hate Ted.
I know they like
Lindsey
Rubio.
Graham said one time, if you was to shoot and kill Ted Cruz on the floor of the Senate, you wouldn't get convicted. they don't fuck with Ted Cruz.
I ain't see it.
Last night on CNN, they was like, you know, because they were talking about what you was just talking about with the convention shit.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I guess maybe they would get behind Ted Cruz, but I don't really see them doing that.
Yeah.
Like, they don't fuck with him either.
So basically, if you guys aren't familiar with what we're talking about, in order to be a nominee for either Republican or the Democratic Party, that's a lock. You need a certain amount of delegate votes.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to say is, and delegate votes you accumulate when you win states, et cetera. So what they're trying to say is, if one candidate doesn't have 1,237, I think is the number of delegate votes on the Republican side, there is no guaranteed lock for the nomination, and it can go to what's called an open convention where they actually vote amongst the people to get
And
it.
that's
So
when
that might fucking happen.
Yeah. Trump versus Clinton. The Super Bowl we all expected, but nobody fucking wanted. like this is not what we wanted, but this is what we expected. So now we got it.
This is what we deserve. That's why I'm starting to realize this shit even more.
I don't mind. Listen, the Democratic Party was really weak this year. I like Bernie. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know how presidential he is, you know, but I like Hillary as well. You know, I shouldn't from what everybody's telling me, but she's...
Why? She don't like black people?
Yeah, she don't like black people. The 1994 crime bill, which also Bernie signed too, so that argument is kind of crazy to me.
Right.
You know? So it's just, for me, it's like, I was down for the Hillary thing simply because my daughter's 7. My daughter has seen a black president and a woman president. Like, that keeps in her head, sky is the motherfucking limit.
Too much privilege.
For who?
Your daughter.
Why?
All these opportunities.
You goddamn right. Her daddy worked hard for her to have these motherfucking opportunities. You want me
I
to,
work hard so you have a
you
woman president.
motherfucking right. You think I want her to believe that sky is the motherfucking limit.
Absolutely. I get
Let's
that.
go.
I get that.
You know, that's what it scares me so much about Donald Trump, because what Donald Trump represents is Donald Trump is really gonna have people resorting back to, what you doing around here, boy? You know what I'm saying? You know we done took our country back. We making America great again. What you doing around here, boy? Like, he's really going to make people resort back to that line of
What
thinking.
you said right there, we took our country back, right?
Yeah.
That's why what happened in Chicago seemed like a victory for America and liberals when they stopped the Trump rally, but was actually a failure. That shit right there could have definitely locked in the nomination.
he won
but could have
Illinois.
won him the president.
He won Illinois, by the way.
He won Illinois. But here's the thing, what it does is, because you have all these people that are Trump supporters, right? Or maybe even on the fence about Trump supporters, but they feel marginalized by society, right? They don't feel like anybody cares about them. They actually do feel silenced, more or less, by society, right? They feel like maybe their country has been taken away from them. They go to this rally, and what happens? The rally is, quote unquote, taken away from them. That just
Energizes
reinvigorates
you.
those feelings,
Yeah.
right? It makes you feel like everything that you actually are feeling inside is just. So while Chicago's celebrating this thing like we shut down hate, all you did is ignited the fire.
You listen.
Trump stopped
Trump
the own-
supporters are
Yeah.
going to make sure they support him now.
Yeah.
Like they're going to ride 360% for him. You know what I mean? But my only thing with I didn't mind the protest. I like when the protests are peaceful. And I don't like when the protesters come there and these motherfucking white niggers like John McGraw are swinging on the protesters or they pushing the little black girl around in the crowd. That's whack to me.
It's fucked up.
That's whack.
It's fucked
You know
up.
what I mean? I feel like the biggest impact you can make is at the polls in November when you go and vote against Trump.
Sure.
That's how you motherfucking protest.
Or if you want
Donald
to
Trump.
protest, do it. And me personally, I think just do it outside. Don't go inside. Don't go inside with a whistle and blow the fucking whistle. Don't interrupt the speech. People are there because they want to hear that candidate speak. They don't want to hear you interrupt the candidate. If you want to do a huge barricade outside where you got flyers and all this shit, absolutely. Don't go inside.
You
man.
don't send your
Have
people
some
into
respect.
a burning house.
There it is.
Like if the protests were peaceful, fine.
Yeah, it's a beehive in there, dog.
It's the
You think
fucking
you're gonna
beehive.
get stung?
It's literally going in there and fucking screaming "fuck Beyonce."
Exactly.
You don't want those
I meant
problems.
a literal beehive, but it is a fucking beehive because that's what Trump's hair looks like.
Listen, it's. I'm not gonna say it's pointless because protesting is never pointless. But what is the point of going to a Donald Trump protest? Like, okay, you shut him down. He didn't get to speak. So what?
Yeah, all you're doing is
So what?
you're helping him.
Galvanize people to go fucking
Galvanize
register to
support.
vote. Mobilize in November. We come out in mass numbers and vote against that motherfucker.
Make him more passionate, dude.
That's
exactly what you do.
Like, listen, everybody was like, oh, you shouldn't be telling people not to protest. I'm not telling people not to protest. I'm telling people not to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Those white niggas are crazy.
They are. They are.
Okay.
Look, they're fucking crazy. They're angry.
Yes, they're angry as a
They're
mother-
broke.
what?
They're desperate. The shit is like every kung fu movie. Every kung fu movie, what happens? Some dude kills somebody's father, and then for the next 30 years, they plot revenge, right?
Bruh.
When you killed that rally, you killed their fucking father.
Listen,
They're
y'all-
plotting revenge right now for November.
You also got to remember the rhetoric that Donald Trump is putting out there. When Donald Trump is saying, let's take back our country, let's make America great again, that's cold. That's code for we got a nigger in charge. Listen, all of those poor white trash niggers that fly the Confederate flag in South Carolina and Georgia and Alabama, those real racists, can you imagine how they feel seeing Barack Obama in charge for the past 8 years? They're already poor. They're already financially they can't get jobs. And now you got a black man running the country?
Doing the Dougie?
Doing the goddamn you got a nigger and his curvy ass wife with his 2 nigger children running the goddamn country. What the fuck's going on out here, Jethro? Like, that shit is infuriating to them. So then you got Donald Trump coming saying, I'm with y'all. Let's take our motherfucking country back, make America great again. We're going to keep all these Muslims out. We're going to keep all these Mexicans out. You know how I feel about niggas. I just can't say that right now. I don't like him. He's the worst president in the United States of America. He's brought this country to shit. He's got the troops riled up like they've never been riled up before. This is 8 years in the making. They've been, listen, the fuse been lit. Been lit.
Yeah.
That shit about to blow right now.
Yeah, because let's really think about the statement. Let's make America great again. When was it better than it is now? This is the greatest America has been for everybody.
I can't.
Right?
I can't.
You can't, especially minorities.
I mean, listen,
it's not even a question. You go back 10 years, it sucks. 20, horrible. 30, 40, 50 years, forget it. You guys aren't even voting.
Of course. I mean, listen.
So, of course, this is the greatest America has been. That being said,
we're just smoothing out the last wrinkles of a lot of injustices.
but when I'm comparing that, you wouldn't take 15 years ago. You wouldn't take 20 years ago. You'd be out of your fucking mind if you take that.
Listen, I've been fine my whole life. You talk about the 60s.
You understand? I'm talking about millions. I'm talking about when you compare millions of people.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is that let's make America great again is his way of essentially saying to poor and desperate white people, hey, you guys are poor, right? Well, you need an excuse for your poverty. You know what that shit is? Muslims and Mexicans.
And not only
we're
that,
going to clear that shit up.
Not only that.
That's all it is.
Not only that, guess who put you in this position? Your black president. Okay?
Or
so
I don't think it's your black president. I think it's politicians.
Nah.
Yes,
He
because
directly blamed Barack Obama.
Of course, because
he said Barack is the worst president in the history of America.
Yeah, because that's who's in office right now. That's what you're supposed to say. Every Republican candidate says that. Rubio says that. Cruz says that. If you watch any debate, every single one of them go on and on about how horrible Obama is.
I mean, it could be because he's a Democrat, but with Trump, I think it's some underlying meaning too. Because he's killing 3 birds with 1 stone.
I don't think in his core I really, and I know this is my theory about everything. I don't think in his core he's sitting at home stewing every single day, going, "Goddamn Mexicans, goddamn Muslims." I think he goes, "What can I make? What do white people hate? Minorities. Or what do racist white people hate? What do poor racist white people hate? Minorities.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make them the poster child for your poor white demise."
So you got your black president, even though he don't ever say black, but it's obvious. Your Mexicans, your Muslims. Barack happens to be Muslim, maybe. I don't know. It's the same guy that was asking for Barack's birth certificate.
Right.
Like, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's fucking
He knows
doing.
who he's manipulating.
And that's what's so scary, because even if Trump doesn't become president, and I don't think he will become president, if everybody goes out there and does what the fuck they're supposed to do, which is mobilize against him and vote. But I feel like the biggest thing that's going to come from Trump, if I'm one of these poor white niggers, right, and my guy doesn't get elected, the guy that's supposed to make America great again and give us jobs, and he doesn't get elected, I'm going to get my country back by hook or by crook. I feel like it's going to be a lot of hate groups. More hate groups pop up in America than ever before. More of those fucking white militia groups. I think it's going to be really, really bad.
That's interesting.
It's going to be really, really bad, man.
That's interesting.
And I feel like race relations in America had gotten to a really good point, even though I told y'all 3-4 years ago they was planting seeds of racism in a group of people that wasn't even thinking about racism to begin with. But it's gotten really bad, bro.
Racism and race relations are the best that they've ever been.
Nah.
How can you
Not
even
relations.
say nah? The best that
No
they've
way.
ever been. Why? Because we're in
No
a
way.
position where we can even talk about it. You couldn't even discuss this shit
Do you realize?
a certain amount of time ago.
Do you realize we've done about 7 to 8 episodes of us saying we can't even talk about race without motherfuckers getting upset?
Oh, people get upset.
Yes.
But at least there's a platform to discuss it.
We discuss
Listen,
it.
this is how great race relations are in America right now. You can use calling someone a racist as a term of shame. I can go, "You're a racist," and you can be like, "I'm not." People feel bad about being a racist.
FYI, that's brilliant idiots logic. We've been saying that. I've been telling y'all we got to treat racists like we treat fucking pedophiles.
Sure, shit.
Okay.
But you can shame them for being that.
You goddamn
Back
right.
in the day, in the fucking 1800s, even early 1900s, I could look at you and be like, "You hate Mexicans," and you'd be like, "Yeah." You just say,
I mean, but listen,
you just say, "Yeah, of course."
But you know the thing about shaming somebody is the person actually has to feel embarrassed for what he's doing.
That's what I'm saying. Now there's an embarrassment to it.
It depends who you are. Some of these motherfuckers don't give a shit. The Republicans are running a whole ad campaign of Donald Trump's most sexist statements. And it's like him telling girls that they're only good for head.
look like
and
a pig.
And that's not going to hurt Trump
Yeah, but we know that already.
at all. Trump
When you
don't give a
stand
fuck
behind what you say, you can't hurt people.
at all.
Live your truth.
If motherfuckers are unapologetically racist, or unapologetically bigoted, or unapologetically whatever it is, nobody cares.
Calling someone out only works if they're portraying a different image.
Bill Cosby.
That's it.
That's
if you
it.
portrayed a good guy and you're out here raping girls, all of a sudden that's a news story. If you portray the bad guy and then you do bad shit, that's not news.
After a while, the shit stinks.
Yeah.
No matter how much more shit you add into the pile, it still stinks.
There it is.
Like,
Now-
it's not level. Like, you don't turn the volume up on shit.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just doo-doo.
It stinks.
It's doo-doo.
You don't walk in and be like, all right, there's 20 piles in here. 10 piles smell like 20.
It's shit.
30 smell like 10. It don't matter. It's shit.
Exactly.
That's Trump.
Now, if Trump is donating his time to a battered women's shelter, that's news.
But then, you know what we say? Oh, he's just doing that because he's running for president. He's still shit.
Probably. He
Putting
leaves that
lipstick
shit
on a
like
pig.
fucking pigs.
Yeah. Hit that shit out of the
Beat up
woman's
pigs.
shelter. It's your fault they're here. Okay? You're the one that made these white niggas beat their wives.
Yo, the N-word is powerful, man. When you say white N-word, I feel it.
That shit hurts,
That
right?
shit hurting my soul,
swear to God.
dog.
Yo,
that shit
Listen,
fucking hurt.
I thought about this week because I was tweeting it. And I went back and I read my tweets and I was like, I'm going to catch some heat for this shit.
God damn.
Like, that
bro.
shit hurt. Nigga is a hurtful word, bro.
Kick in the chest.
White
I never been
nigger?
called it with the ER.
Listen, could you think about this, right? If you're one of those poor, I'm from South Carolina. I grew up around white niggas.
Yeah.
If you're one of those poor, white,
Squinting my eyes.
Confederate flag loving guys down south,
Yeah.
and you despise niggas,
And someone
somebody calls
calls
you
you
a white nigger,
Oh, God.
you'll reevaluate your whole life.
Oh, God.
You may kill yourself.
It's like when you're in a store. It's like when you're in a store that you think you're better than, and someone walks up to you and goes, "Excuse me, do you work here?" And you're like, "Oh God, what? Are you fucking kidding me? How dare you? I don't fucking work here."
Listen, that's how I feel about the word nigga. That shit ain't mutually exclusive to black people.
I mean, I like what
I don't
you're
talk to
doing with
niggas
it.
of all. I don't talk to niggas of all races after
Yo,
5 p.m.
couldn't you argue that the N-word is black people using the N-word as cultural appropriation?
Yes.
Yo, that's the first.
You
culture-
motherfucking right. That was the
Y'all
first
stole
form
our
of cultural
shit.
appropriation. Y'all stole from the white man.
So we take cornrows, you take the N-word.
That's fucked. That's absolutely true. The word nigga is cultural appropriation.
Yo,
yo.
stop cultural appropriating.
That shit is fucked up. You know what? Now I want to stop cultural appropriation.
Really?
Stop it all across
You
the
gotta
board.
leave
Shut
that
it
white
down.
culture with
no
the
white
white
people with
folks.
cornrows, no black people using the N-word. That shit is fucked up. But guess what? I'm giving them their word back. All right?
Dude, that shit is powerful. Let's
But,
pay some bills.
yeah, Trump Clinton is coming, man.
God damn. All right, let's take a break and talk for a minute about Squarespace. Now, we told you guys plenty of times before how important it is to have your own website, but is it necessary to go out and spend thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars to design something? No. It's not, all right? When you're starting a business, you got to go get the most of every dollar. You got to stretch that seed money as far as it can go. Blowing most of it all on a web designer is not the best way to do it. Get your website looking right with Squarespace and then spend that money on rent or on employees, on marketing, whatever you want.
That's right. Remember, Squarespace provides simple, powerful, and a beautiful website that looks professionally designed regardless of skill level, no coding required. Not only does Squarespace provide you with intuitive and easy-to-use tools to create your website with, Squarespace also has state-of-the-art technology powering your site to ensure security and stability. And you know you can trust in Squarespace for your website needs with millions of people and some of the most respected brands in the world trusting them too, okay? Seriously. You can't beat the ease and simplicity of Squarespace. Squarespace gives you 24/7 online support and a beautiful website. So what are you waiting for? Start a trial with no credit card required and start building your website today.
Now, when you decide to sign up for Squarespace, make sure to use the offer code IDIOT to get 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for Brilliant Idiots. We thank Squarespace for their support of Brilliant Idiots. Squarespace, build it beautiful.
Now listen, I want to salute Jezebel.com. I want to salute TheRoot.com. I want to salute Latina Magazine.
What happened?
You know, they all ran a story this week on an interview we did with Dasha Polanco.
I heard she said Charlemagne,
She
like your
did.
Dominican girls.
She is Dominican though.
Oh, okay.
So we was talking about Zoe Saldana or whatever, and I, having a conversation about her playing Nina Simone, and I was just like, yo, I think people are upset because she's not black, you know what I mean, and she's playing Nina Simone. She's, I don't know what, she's Latino or something, some type of Dominican, I don't know.
But you could be black and Latino.
But I didn't know this, so this is what I said.
Oh.
Dasha goes, well, I'm Afro-Latino. So I go, what's that? You know, and she said that, you know, when she's in the DR, she's perceived as a Dominican. When she's here in America, she's perceived as a black woman. So I go, oh, well, why not just be Dominican? And she was like, because that's not all that I am. And I'm like, okay, cool. So everybody is like, oh my God, Charlemagne's so fucking clueless, you're ignorant. You motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I asked the question. I didn't chastise her. I said, what is that? Then I asked, well, why not just be Dominican? Because when I see her, I don't see a black woman. Not saying that that's, you know, she's not Afro-Latino, but I just see a Dominican chick. Yeah. And I've never heard a Dominican woman refer to themselves as Afro-Latino.
Yeah.
I just haven't. So I don't know, you know, they was running articles like, oh, Charlemagne's clueless and he's ignorant. It's like, you motherfuckers, that's why you ask questions. You ask questions and you give people the opportunity to teach. So guess what? I learned something. Yeah. And you motherfuckers should learn something every day. When you ask a question, you're only a fool for as long as you're answering that question.
Yeah.
When
that's
you never
why you were posting all those.
When you never ask the question, that's when you're a motherfucking fool.
I know you're getting slandered on the internet because you get real spiritual with your memes.
Because they was
all
trolling,
your memes were God.
Because they was trolling me. They was trolling me for retweets. So it's like I was trying to explain to them like, what's wrong with asking a question? Like you can't call a motherfucker clueless when they're asking a question.
Bro, listen. Okay, first of all, hold on. Let me get your shit up real quick because I wanna talk about how I know that you're going through some shit.
That's not true.
This is how I know you're going through some shit. When I start seeing memes like this. When God has selected you, it doesn't matter who else has rejected or neglected you. God's favor outweighs all opposition.
Oh, but you know
you are a winner.
But you know what that was for? That was for motherfucking the Antichrist being the presidential GOP candidate. And I saw all of these motherfuckers tweeting, it don't matter what our votes are, the shit is rigged anyway, they gonna put Donald Trump in. I'm like, motherfucker, don't, and read my caption, what the caption say.
If God is for us, who can be against us?
And what the caption
Romans
say?
8:31.
That's right, and what does my caption say? My caption says, what does it
God's
say?
privilege.
No, the other one.
Hold on.
Before that, what does the caption say?
Just a reminder of who really run it down
You
here.
goddamn right. Stop thinking that these motherfuckers that's the GOP candidates and the fucking Democrats gonna run your motherfucking life. Okay? At the end of the day, you gotta have faith in a higher power.
Okay, so 2 issues with the story. One, I hate how people, I hate how it's like considered news to like expose ignorance. You know, like that, like you saying, so you not knowing something, right, and asking a question about it became news. Oh my, or not news, but it became
News.
That was the news. That was
the story. Dasha Polanco schools Charlamagne.
Exactly, yeah.
Dasha Polanco schools clueless radio host.
So there it is. We're pointing fingers, right? When and all that does, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that does is sends a message to everybody who reads those blogs.
Yeah.
Everybody who maybe subscribes to their email list, that the other, that if you make a mistake about knowing someone's culture, you'll be shamed for it.
That's why motherfuckers don't ask questions.
Exactly. So they're really to blame for ignorance. Those blogs are way more to blame for ignorance than you are because they silence people by shaming them.
If anything, you should have been running headlines saying Dasha Polanco explains what an Afro-Latino is.
Or Charlamagne the God finds out what an Afro-Latino is by doing something novel, asking a fucking question about what he didn't even know. You can't even not know shit.
You can't, listen, that's the problem. We live in an era of a bunch of know-it-alls, but what y'all don't realize is the know-it-all knows fucking nothing. Nothing.
You just know it's safe.
That's it.
Yeah, you don't ask real questions.
There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Sure. Like this is Chris Moreau. I asked Chris Moreau earlier because for whatever reason, all of these Afro-Latinos think that everybody knows what the fuck that is.
Let us remind you, they don't.
They don't.
Okay.
This is Chris Moreau. I asked Chris Moreau.
Afro-Latino?
Yes.
What is Afro-Latino?
I understand it in the context of a musical genre. Kind of Cuban is known as the Afro-Latino music.
Chris thinks it's a musical genre.
He's not wrong.
Okay, I don't even know if he's wrong or not. I just know he knows it as a musical genre. So it's like,
but it's just black Latinos. That's literally what it is.
But see, I was thinking
dark-skinned Latinos. When you're dark-skinned Latino, you're Afro-Cuban.
But this is my thing. Does that mean you're biracial? Does it mean you have music?
Yeah, no, but yes, there is Cuban music. I understand what you're saying. Like, what are those old ass dudes called? The Buena Vista Social Club, that kind of shit. Yeah, exactly. But it's also people you can identify as that.
But it's not because you're biracial. It's not because you have a black father, Latino mother, Latino.
It's just you're darker skin, dude. It's super racist in Latin America. They just take the dark people and go, "Hey, you're African because you're dark," and the light people are like, "We're European."
So why Haitians and Dominicans don't fuck with each other?
Well, because one is really poor and the other is slightly less poor, and they think they're better than them because they're slightly less poor.
See, all this shit is too fucking
And there's
confusing.
also cultural difference, right? And like Haiti is more French influence and Dominican Republic obviously more Spanish influence, right? So you have beef just from the wars back home.
I mean, I understand everything Dasha was saying. The only thing that confused me was when she said, in DR, I'm Dominican.
Yeah.
Here, I'm black.
I think she's talking about how people see her.
Perception.
Yeah, perception.
So that's what my thing. So for me, I'm just thinking, oh, well, perception. Well, it's like, okay, well, Drake's half black, half white. J. Cole's half black, half white.
Yeah, but J. Cole to most people is a black man, right? Nobody looks at J. Cole and be like, you're 50% white, I can tell.
Okay, so boom, my point exactly. If J. Cole was to start coming out and saying, I don't want to be just identified as black, I'm Afro-Caucasian, he would get slandered on blogs.
Absolutely.
They would destroy him. You know how I know? Because Tay Diggs did that with his son. And Tay Diggs was like, I don't want my son to just be black. His mom is white. I want him to have that experience too. And y'all slandered this shit out of him.
Because it's insecurity, right? It's perceived as, he doesn't want to identify as black, like there's something wrong with black.
No, it's not. He just got two identities. The same way Dasha wants to identify as black and Latino.
It's perceived as insecure. It's perceived as, this person, being black's not good enough?
No,
there's
that's
a problem with being black.
He's black and white.
People are looking at that story when they read it. Black people are looking at the story and go, what's the wrong with being black?
And I'm telling them they're wrong because the guy is black and the guy is white. Yeah. Just like if Drake wants to embrace his Jewish heritage and his black from Memphis heritage, he can. Just like if J. Cole wants to embrace his mom's white heritage and his black heritage, he can. Now, when you see J. Cole, I see a black man.
Yeah.
So he can sit around and tell me he's white all day. That's not going to stop him from getting slammed to the ground by police.
I'll tell
you. Getting a knee in his back.
You know what it is? I'll tell you the difference. You can embrace your culture not your race. There's a unique thing in America where black people can embrace their race, right? Nobody else really embraces their race. They embrace their culture. Like, for example, Asian people embrace their culture, where they're from. I'm proud to be Vietnamese, not I'm proud to be Asian, because Indians are also Asian, Russians are part Asian. Black people in America, there's a pride movement, and there should be.
No, that what you're saying is real, and I'm gonna tell you why it's funny, because I look at, like, when it comes to minorities, black people, we black power, we black pride. Spanish people could be Latino pride. When a white person's white proud, it's white supremacy.
Exactly. Yeah, because think about it. But it should be, yo. But it should be. Because,
Why should it be?
Because there's no such thing as white culture. What are you proud of? Just the fact that your skin is white?
Yeah.
But here, listen, the reason there's black pride in America, right? Like, Jamaicans are proud to be Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
Africans that come here are proud to be Kenyan, Nigerian, right? They're proud of that specific culture. Blacks that they don't know their roots have to be proud to be black Americans, because they don't know the history that precedes that.
I'm just proud to be black. I'm black.
Because you don't know what comes before that. Take that in. Take that
I'm
in.
with you, but it don't
that's
matter.
the difference. A white dude that goes, I'm proud to be white. It's peculiar, because I'm like, well, what are you proud of? You're just proud you're not white?
He's white.
No, I'm proud to be Scottish. You could be proud to be German. You could be proud to be Italian. You see that all the time. Ask Premium Pete if he's proud to be Italian. He could be like, of course I'm proud to be Italian.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, us as human beings, we're proud about whatever we are. If you're, like, I'm from South Carolina, I'm proud of that. The dirt road I was raised on, I'm proud of that. We rep all of that.
So if you don't know what you are, your only choice is to be proud that you're black. If you don't know the history, right?
I'm black.
If you were stolen from fucking Africa, you don't know what part. Hey, listen. Regardless of what you want to say, the reality is, if you were put on a slave ship, right?
Yeah.
And dragged here from Africa, and you have no connection to your roots, right? And your mom was forced to fuck some guy that she didn't even know, and then you were born. You don't even know who this fucking guy is. You grew up on a plantation. You have no, let's say, culture from back home that is passed down to you.
You want to know the truth to the matter? Truth to the matter is, African American is too long to fit in songs.
Say what?
You can't say it loud, I'm African American and proud. Black goes with it. You can't say my president is African American. My Lambo's blue.
My point is that's why you have a black pride movement within America, but amongst black people in other parts of the world, you often have pride movements from the country or culture that they're from.
I mean, technically, none of us. If you really, I mean, this is just me being technical. None of us are really the colors they say we are. That's white. That sheet of paper.
Yes.
That hoodie you have on is black.
Yes, it is.
I'm not that color. Okay.
Well, we know that.
Akon is the color of your hoodie, but he's only one guy. And then is there who's a pale white person that's probably the color of that sheet?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. We don't know what the fuck we are. We're just here. We out here, dog. Salute to Lil Duval and his new podcast, Out Here Podcast.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
All right.
I want to shout out Duval. Duval got a new podcast called Out Here with him and his gay-ass sister.
Yeah.
He calls her his gay-ass sister. That is not my name for her.
I haven't heard it.
And it's funny. It's really funny. I listened to 17 minutes of it. About 5 minutes in, they really start going. And Duval is having really important discussions about, his sister's gay, about, like, homosexuality in America, and bring up really important topics. And I'll be honest, I would never think Duval would be the guy to have these discussions. Like, he brought up a great point to his sister. He's like, you talk all this shit about straight people, but you don't have any straight friends. How can you be so knowledgeable about how straight people are and how straight people act if you have no straight friends?
Because this is America. I don't ever have to hang out with you to judge you and come to a full analysis about you and your life. I know exactly what white people are about, and Jewish people, and Mexicans, and Spanish, and Haitians, and Africans, and Afro-Latinos who I just met 2 days ago. But I'm fully covered and I know everything about them now.
Listen, knowing about people often backfires. That shit happened to me yesterday. I go to my intramural,
having preconceived notions about people.
Prejudice.
Yes.
Backfire.
Prejudging, absolutely.
I go to my intramural basketball game yesterday. Me and a couple buddies playing the intramural basketball team. Now, when you go to the game, there's a sign up list, right? So while I'm signing up, I look at the team that we're playing, right? And I always look at their last names and do a quick little prejudice judgment, right? So the last names on the list are Holtzberg, Meyer, Lukowitz, Spleisenberg. You know, it sounds like some fucking like law firm shit, right? I'm going down, or like I'm basically looking at it, right? It's all Jewish dudes, and I'm like, yo, we are gonna fucking wash these motherfuckers.
These motherfuckers look at the monsters.
Wait for it. We get on the court. I look on the other side of the court. It's not a banking firm or anything like that. Not dentists. It's Eastern European Jews. These motherfuckers were six. It was Vladi Divas. It was 6 Vladi Divas on the other side of the court. I'm like, what the fuck? When I tell you these motherfuckers whooped our ass, they weren't even speaking English. They were speaking Hebrew. We didn't even know what the fuck was going on. Picks, perfect plays. They washed us by 20 points.
Listen, man, stop it with your preconceived motherfucking notions.
It don't always work out.
The greatest basketball player in the world right now is small and waffle colored. Mm-hmm. All right,
we're claiming him. That's a white man. Beautiful green eyes.
No, isn't his mom white?
Nah, I've been saying that I've been saying that she was white, but she actually isn't. She's just really light skinned black.
Steph not Afro-Latino?
Steph is Afro-Latino.
You sure Steph ain't Afro-Latino?
He is absolutely. His face is. I don't know about the rest of his body, but that face absolutely Afro-Latino.
Listen, I just want to say this because Steph Curry is the second greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
Who's the first?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Interesting.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan used to do things on the basketball court I had never seen before. Now, mind you, I'm 35, so I came at the end of the Lakers era. When by the Magic Johnson I know had AIDS, and Michael Jordan was busting his ass in the finals. Well, Michael Jordan busted his ass in the finals, then he got AIDS afterwards. I forgot how the fucking shit went, but I didn't see that Showtime Magic, even though I think Magic is top 3.
Hold on.
Yes.
Did Magic get AIDS after Jordan busted his ass?
I mean, I don't know when he got diagnosed after, I'm pretty sure. Did he? No, when did Magic get diagnosed with AIDS?
We should know because that's an interesting timeline.
I want to say it was 91.
Mark?
Once he was diagnosed, he didn't play that season.
Yo, you got to see Mark's. Mark, show Charlamagne your elbow. White people get ashy too. Look at this fucking elbow right
That's
here.
gray hair, man.
That's not.
This is psoriasis.
That's psoriasis?
Oh.
You know why I got out of the Vietnam War?
You
were in Vietnam?
How I got out.
Oh, that's how you got out?
Oh, that's how you didn't go. You're not on mic, so we can't have a whole
get on the
combo
mic,
with him.
Mark.
Get on mic, Mark.
I mean, the thing about it is,
Salute to my guy, Mark. Mark, what's your last name, Mark? I forgot.
Jacobson.
Mark Jacobson. I started to say Johnson.
Mark, go sit up there. Mark, go sit up there.
Mark Jacobson. He's a writer. Well, he's a lot of different things.
Yes.
Filmmaker,
Yes, and he's
writer,
not the person
author.
making your shoes, girls. It's a different
No,
one.
absolutely not. Besides,
Okay.
so Charlamagne was giving me a hard time about these white patchy things on my elbows, but actually that's psoriasis, and that's the only place I really got it. But see, I inherited this from my old man.
Okay.
So I got this picture of my father, who was in World War II, sitting on Hitler's balcony.
Jesus
after the
Christ,
war.
Mark, who are you?
Yeah, I got a picture of him sitting there on Hitler's balcony, smoking his pipe on Hitler's balcony.
What side was your dad on?
My dad was on our side.
Okay. That's very important
so
for the
speak.
story.
Well, definitely. He was a New York guy. They sent him over there. He was a first generation immigrant. They sent him over there back to Europe to kick the Huns' ass, and like that's what he did, I guess. So, and he had psoriasis, and I inherited that psoriasis, was a genetic thing. So, one of my favorite picture of my father was to sit on Hitler's balcony. Talk about spiking the football. He's a Jewish American guy sitting there on Hitler's balcony. The war is now over. And so then I got this stuff from him, and that's what got me out of the Vietnam War. So I always thought of my father like looking out from the eagle's nest and seeing up in the future that it was going to be this war, the Vietnam War, which is going to be totally not worth fighting. And he didn't want his son to be in it.
So he stole some psoriasis
So he gave
from
me
Hitler
this stuff, and I got me out.
Have you ever heard of genetics?
Genetics, yeah. It's
Yeah, that's all.
That might be the cause of it too. His is way more poetic. Let him have.
Yeah, I love that story. The story sounds great.
But,
How psoriasis saved my life.
So Mark,
I could be dead in some kind of jungle in Vietnam.
Mark, you're doing an article on Charlamagne.
Yeah, I am.
For New York Magazine.
Yeah.
But you've also done an article that inspired the movie American Gangster.
That is true.
So your
Frank Lucas, baby.
Yeah, so your article about Frank Lucas, or series of articles, what was
It
it?
was just one long article.
It was one long article for what?
This is for New York Magazine.
For New York Magazine.
Mark, I just want you to know that you create an article that's good enough for to inspire a movie about me. I'm cutting you a big piece.
Well, I'm hoping for that, Charlamagne, and I'm also we're going to have to negotiate ahead of time.
Got you.
Okay. 'Cause
Did you do that with Frank?
Frank, are you crazy? You know what, Frank? Frank was in living in a project across the street in Newark. I got his name.
This is after.
This is the beginning of how I met Frank. Right?
No, this is after Frank Lucas was Frank Lucas. After he was.
He was Frank Lucas. He was this big drug dealer in Harlem. He went to jail,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is already now. We're fast forward to 2000.
Right.
So I had always heard, in the street thing, that there was this drug dealer who smuggled heroin back into body bags of the dead American soldiers. So I never believed this was actually true.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like one of those things that couldn't be true.
Yeah.
And then, so a friend of mine said, there's a guy, Frank Lucas. I know where he lives. I said, you mean Frank Lucas? I'm like going through the Rolodex in my brain. I go, you mean Frank Lucas, the guy who smuggled the dope back in the body bags? He said, yeah, that guy. I said, that can't be true. He says, it's true. And here's his number. So I went over to a project in Newark, knocked on the door. He comes out, who the fuck is this? I got like, well, I'm blah, blah, blah. Mark Jacobson from New York Magazine. He says, he looks at me and like he'd been waiting for me all these years.
Waiting to tell the story.
Waiting to tell his story. He said, come on in. And like, I spent like 50 hours with him telling me these variety of some truth, mostly lies, and a bunch of other stuff. Well, I mean, if you actually go back and read that article, you'll see that there's a lot. Instead of saying Frank said, I always write Frank claims.
I'm gonna read that shit tonight. I meant to read that over the weekend when you told me that last
Well,
week.
because like the thing about it is like, he claimed he was Bumpy Johnson's driver. I don't think he really was. I mean,
Did he know Bumpy?
yeah, he probably. Well, everybody knew Bumpy.
Didn't he son
Yeah.
Bumpy in the movie? Didn't he son Bumpy in the movie?
He was Bumpy's driver in the movie.
He was Bumpy's driver.
And
in
then
the
Bumpy
movie.
died. Then he
Oh,
took
Bumpy.
over.
Who's the other guy? Who's the other drug dealer Cuban Gooding Jr. played in the movie?
Oh, that's Nicky Barnes.
Nicky Barnes.
Barnes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Nicky Barnes. Nicky Barnes was bigger than Frank Lucas. So,
Not
but
in that movie.
not in that movie. And
Hey, history's
Nicky
written
Barnes
by
was
winners.
not that happy about that, actually.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
So
but Frank
I
told-
spoke to him after the movie came out, and he was kind of ticked about that, but he couldn't really say that much because he was in the witness protection program, and I don't think he can yell that loud.
So
when
all
you're-
these famous
with his
drug
protection
dealers
program.
snitched, is what you're trying to say.
Well, Frank, as I told Charlemagne, Frank said, you can find out anything about me, but none of that buddy shit about me and the cops. I said, well, Frank, I'm a journalist. How am I supposed to explain that you're the biggest drug dealer and you did X, Y, and Z and probably killed 300 people and you only served 7 years in jail? How is that? How am I supposed to?
Nobody that's done a little bit of time in the street knows that does not add up.
Well, the
That
first
does
thing
not add up.
he said was, you're the writer, you'll think of something. So, the second thing he said was, I'm a very busy man. I got no time whatsoever to go to your funeral. So you just do whatever you want to do. Wow. So I figure like, oh, okay.
So you didn't say that he snitched.
Well, if you read the piece, you'll see that I'm trying to do my job. You know? So,
All
he
you have to
certainly didn't do what he did. The way it's portrayed in the movie has nothing to do with reality.
All you have to do is say he was the biggest drug dealer in the world. He killed 300 people and he only did 7 years.
And then we'll put the rest together.
We got it.
Yeah,
all right.
we can do math. That's one plus
fell,
one plus
okay.
one, baby.
1
We
plus
can get
1
through-
plus snitching equals 17.
7 years in jail.
Okay.
That's what
I mean, I kind of appreciated him because he was such a great storyteller,
It made for an amazing movie.
Yeah, it was a cool movie.
But I watched the movie and there was certain parts of that shit. I was like, that shit didn't happen.
Well, once they got Denzel to play him, it was kind of, the deal was off because, he's never going to be as mean and rotten as Frank really was,
Frank's really a mean, rotten guy?
He's a drug dealer, man. He killed people.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, everybody makes a lot, it's, and myself included, of course, makes romance out of these people, but you have to remember, like, what they were doing for a living.
I feel like their lives come back to haunt them, whether we know it or not, because all of these people have consciences. So it's like the people you killed, whether physically, literally, or through drugs, they got to come back to haunt you later on in life.
Interesting.
There's no way you can sleep at
Unless
night.
you're a sociopath.
And then you snitch too?
Well, they are sociopaths. That's why
So
they
if
get.
you're a
That's why they
sociopath, you
succeed.
could do it.
That's one part of the job qualification. The job. You look at the vitae of somebody. If it says sociopath, and goes, oh, drug dealer will take you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. That's what you need in the CV.
Let's pay some bills and then bring in our other guests, man. My guy, Mark Jacobson. Mark is a wealth of knowledge, by the way. I've learned more with Mark in the past 5 days than I have from a lot of people I've known for a very long time. All right, time for a quick word from our friend Tristan Walker and the good people at Bevel, the first and only shaving system designed specifically for coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin. Now, we're going to be in San Francisco on Friday, okay, for our Billionaires live show. Tristan, I would love for you to come through. Last time Tristan was here, he bought me some of that 1989 Remy, which my father-in-law drank the fuck out of about 2-3 weeks ago. I've only had one glass of that shit, maybe two since I had it. My father-in-law, who actually put me on the Remy years ago, but he's a 1738 VSOP guy, never even heard of 1889 until he saw that bottle at my crib. That motherfucker went to town like I can just walk into the liquor store and buy me a bottle of that 1989 tomorrow. But whatever. I've been fucking his daughter forever, so that's the least I could do, is let him drink some of my Remy. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about those Bevel razor kits, which really do keep your face looking great, and of course are an impressive addition to whatever sort of personal grooming supplies you've got. Okay, and please don't just think that Bevel is just for black guys. We told you before, the Billionaire survey showed that approximately 15% of our audience identified as Caucasian. Okay, so there are a lot of white guys out there who might have been tuning out.
There's a lot of white what? What do you call them?
I said guys.
Oh, you don't call them the other. Do white N-words?
I don't know if these are white niggas.
But do white N-words use Bevel or no?
No, they got beards. They got long ass
beards.
fucking Duck Dynasty looking beards. You see these motherfuckers. Of course they don't use no goddamn Bevel.
So if you're a clean shaven white N-word, get yourself some Bevel.
You're probably not a white N-word if you're clean shaven. Okay. All right. Now, salute to all the white guys that might be tuning out during Bevel out. We need you to listen up anyway. Bevel's for you too.
For everyone else, check out getbevel.com today. Use the code FREEIDIOTS to get your first month of Bevel membership free at getbevel.com. That's GETBEVEL.com. But hustle, because this is only good for the first 200 listeners that respond. That's GETBEVEL.com. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, we got an Afro-Caucasian in here. The reason I found that out is because I asked her when she walked in, because, when I learned something new, I want to just keep asking. So I asked her, are you Afro-Latino?
You asked if you're Afro-Latino.
Yes.
Latina.
Latina. You sure?
Latina.
Okay, Afro-Latina. But she's not. She's Afro-Caucasian.
Yes,
Of mixed race.
of mixed descent.
See, I just used to call that biracial.
I mean, we could call it biracial. I'm fine with that.
Got you.
Make sure the mic is close to your face, hon.
All right.
All right, so basically, Michelle Hope, a sexologist, is in the room with us.
Sexologist. What does that mean?
Yes, it means I study sex and teach sex and sexuality across the lifespan.
Are you good at it?
Teaching, absolutely.
No, actual sex.
I mean, nobody's asked for a refund.
Okay.
But it's,
Girls always say that.
I mean, but let's face it,
Why are you paying people?
I'm not paying people. That was good, though. I see what you did there.
I was still putting it together. I was like, who got to pay who to get a refund?
Right. But no, it's a interesting job.
Okay.
I really enjoy the idea of sex and sexuality, and it's not just about like the of sex. It's more about like identity, media and society, sexualization, sensuality, love and intimacy.
Did you go to school?
I did.
So what do you major in to be a sexologist?
Well, I have a undergrad in like Black Studies and Human Development, and then I started my master's in Marriage Family Therapy with a specialization in African American Family Studies. Tripped, fell on some dick, fell in love, and then moved to New York and ended that master's in Human Development as well, and with a kind of centered focus on adult learning.
How many partners does a woman have to have in order to be considered a sexologist?
I don't. 0. They just have to study for 10 years. I don't know, to be a master.
Nah, you gotta have been fucking now.
I mean, let's be real. Yeah. I'm not a virgin.
Okay.
Let's say that.
Because I mean, it's like, I don't want to hear from, it's like a personal trainer that's fat.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that either.
Yeah, nah, who you fucking? What's your idea like this? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Okay, so you've had enough experience.
Enough.
I bumped into Michelle at All-Star Weekend.
At a bar.
Toronto.
Yes.
Toronto.
Oh, you was fucking All-Star Weekend.
I wasn't.
Really?
I was not.
I'm not gonna lie.
You like basketball that much that you decided to go to All-Star
No,
Weekend?
I actually worked. To eat through college, I did the door of parties. So I worked the door.
Oh, so you're
you were
trustworthy.
working some parties.
Yeah.
Basically.
You're a trustworthy person. I just had a homeboy had to fire.
I had no clue. I thought that some other shit was going down.
I figured.
Because I met you, it was like, 1 in the afternoon at
a
the
bar.
hotel bar. I was just recovering, and I'm going to get like a hamburger.
Right.
And you were at the hotel bar with a couple guys I met on a flight from LA.
Yep,
to there.
some friends, some
so
homies.
I see this attractive girl downstairs at a hotel bar. I thought you had maybe an interesting night.
I wish.
You weren't even staying at the hotel. That was the next thing
Right.
that happened, right? You just happened to be at the hotel. I was like, so you're not staying here. You're at the hotel bar, 1 p.m.
And your
Death
next thought
Star
was,
got
who's she
fucked.
fucking?
Exactly.
Right.
Of course.
That would have been
It's
my next
All-Star
thought.
Weekend.
Let me be real.
If
Had
she was
I met
ugly,
you,
I would have thought you were friends, but you're attractive. If anything, it's a compliment that I assume that
I
you were having
appreciate
sex
that.
with some sort of celebrity.
I'm usually the wing woman. Like I'm usually I hang out with a lot of boys, and I'm usually the one that's like Heismaning pussy their way. Like, yeah.
So you Heisman the pussy
That's
there.
crazy because you're not cosmetically challenged at all. Usually the wing woman's ugly. It's the
Very
ugly
true.
chick that's kind of heavy set,
But dress is cool.
but dress is cool, funny. You know what I'm saying?
So girls come over like, I like your dress. Just suck his dick.
yeah, right. That's sometimes it's as simple as that sounds. That's sometimes how it's been like that for a long time.
Okay,
Now,
so
when you're in a bar at 1 a.m. and you know everybody's been drinking, do you introduce yourself as a sexologist? Because honestly, men have egos. So if a man hears that, they're like, oh, she want to fuck me.
she was very
She's a
quick to
sexologist.
tell me. She told me, was someone shit on your chest? What was the whole story we were talking about, the shit on the chest?
What?
Oh, we were talking about scat play.
Yeah, scat. But we got into it quick, bro.
the fuck is
Before my
that?
burger
I
even
know.
got there, we're talking about taking dumps on chest.
Yeah.
But do you introduce
scat
yourself
play.
as that later?
No, I do, but here's what happens at a bar. It's never, oh, she wants to fuck me. It's always some lonely motherfucker wants to talk about his erectile dysfunction and how it's fucking up his
Wait,
relationship.
a guy walks up to you and starts talking about how his
it
dick
has-
doesn't get hard.
Yes, it has happened many,
Do
many
you know
times.
Mark Jacobson? You know-
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. Great guy, his dick's got psoriasis, so you got to get past that. He got a chafed up dick.
But,
Okay,
yeah.
if you can look past a chafed up dick, put some Eucerin lotion, some Aveeno on it. This is a
Something.
great man right here.
It's,
Grab the mic, Mark. If you're gonna talk, grab the mic, bro. Come on.
No, there's nothing to say about that.
Okay,
Your
fine.
dick still
So,
get hard,
Michelle,
Mark?
My
What-
dick still gets hard, man. I'm 68 years old.
do you
There
use
you go.
Viagra? You use Viagra?
Well, you know what Rick James says about cocaine.
What is that?
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, but I heard your cocaine's supposed to make your dick gummy worm.
There's a fine line,
Oh,
I've
man.
heard.
Well, I need it all the time, but you do occasionally when you feel in a big spot, when you just want to be,
You might have went to Frank
on
Lucas to
point.
get drugs, not do a story.
he does not sell Viagra.
Talking about cocaine?
Well, he's a heroin man,
Oh, okay.
All right, so basically, we meet up at this bar. We start talking. I don't know what the fuck we end up talking about, but you start talking about this shit stuff,
Yeah, scat.
right? Scat. What is scat?
Scat play is where someone gets erotically turned on by bowel movements.
Yeah.
They might like to play with them. They might like to have someone defecate on them. It's a lot of power and control. When it comes to sex, it's all learned behavior.
Those are the people who should not be allowed to vote. Like, people like that should not be allowed to make.
Why? They know
Just
exactly
decisions.
what they want in sex. They
That
don't
is
know exactly what
And
they want in
say
a
it.
president.
I mean, but I will say
a
that
strong
there are some
constituency.
ties back to some. I mean, that is not a normal
Duh.
like sex play
okay,
game.
is it scat if I wipe and then I kind of look at it and sometimes I'll squeeze it a little in the toilet
That's
paper?
not that. I mean, is
Am
your
I
dick
into
getting
scat
hard?
play?
Are you doing that while like masturbating?
No, but what I would do is when I first learned how to jerk off, I would go home, I would take a shit, and I wouldn't wipe, and then I just jerk off, and then I'd wipe. Is that scat play?
No, because you're not getting off on the fecal matter itself. And it's got something to do, there's something to do with like cleanliness and like the poop comes out and it's phallic like. I mean, there's some real deep
Do you have a pen?
psychological things.
I need you to write this down. First of all, write wax at the top of that page. Write wax. Because Wax loves scat play. He's been playing with shit for as long as I know him.
He has tons of
He
jokes.
loves it.
Yeah, Wax is who we're going to bring in. I actually brought you in here because I want. Well,
Wax
we'll
has
get
a
into
problem.
that. Wax has a problem, and we're going to get it when he comes there. So you're going to
Okay.
kind of do like a little maybe sexual therapy.
He
Okay.
really loves scat play. Like, he takes shit out of toilets, he cuts holes in couches, puts the shit in the couch.
Put shits
He'll
in
put
pockets of
shit in your
peacoats.
pockets
But
of shoes.
is he getting an erection off that?
We don't know.
He always fucks
we
right
don't
after he
know.
does it.
We do not know.
He
might.
does it, he
Interesting.
laughs about it, and then he goes to fuck.
But there's
and
really
loves to tell the girl the stories about it.
there's some denigration there. There's some.
Can I ask you a
deep
question,
things
Michelle?
there.
Is it scat if you put in a girl's butt, right? You pull out and there's some doo-doo on your dick and you kind of get off on the fact they're like, whoa, my dick went so far, it went to where the doo-doo is.
No, we're talking
That's not
about
scat.
no. Usually
Fuck.
scat has to do with denigration and being ridiculed, and it's power and control. Oftentimes men that are into scat are power hungry in their day-to-day lives. They have a lot of power, they have a lot of decision making. So when it comes to their fantasies and their bedroom play, it's more about being subservient. Oftentimes, these are people looking to be
The
submissive.
more control you are in your life,
Yes.
the more out of control you are in your
Yeah,
life.
Hitler was a scat, was denigration
Well, he had a little
and
dick, so
scat.
he had no choice but to play with
Well,
shit.
he had his soldiers, and it's some psychological things.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
He would like it when his soldiers would denigrate him. In other words, spit on him, urinate on him, hit him,
Hitler?
call him. Yes, behind closed doors. Yes, look it up, honey. He was all into freaky
Dude, whose
stuff.
sex life is analyzed more than Hitler? This is crazy.
I mean, there's
We
a
know his
lot to
dick
be
size,
said.
if he likes shit.
I mean, we did kind of look what we did to Eddie Murphy when he got picked
also,
up with
can
a
you
tranny.
imagine
Hello,
What did we do to Eddie?
power and control. When he was like, oh, he got picked up with the
When he pulled
tranny
the Mr.
prostitute.
C.
Yeah,
What that got to do with anything?
it's again power and control. It's the idea of being dominated. You're a dominating figure in your
So
daylight.
Eddie was picking somebody up to dominate him.
Probably, yeah.
Listen, I like being subservient too, but it ain't got nothing to do with shit. Meaning, I just
That's
like,
fine.
I
See,
like for the
that's
girl to
you're not
ride
way on the.
me.
It's like a pendulum. It's a spectrum.
Hold on, is being ridden subservient? I'm
That's what I'm
lazy.
thinking.
No.
That's what I would think. It's just lazy.
Yeah, I'm lazy.
No, that sounds lazy. Or you just like being ridden. Because who doesn't like a nice fat ass jumping up and
Oh,
down?
man.
And also,
Talk to me,
girls,
baby.
you get off
Talk to me,
easier on that
Melissa.
shit.
Oh, Michelle.
Michelle, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Michelle Hope.
People have called me a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing that ass bounce, that's not lazy. That's just enjoying a view.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does one figure out what turns them on?
I mean, you do a lot of different things. I always suggest, sometimes I get couples that are like, I don't know what he likes. I don't know what she likes. There are some worksheets that you can do together about
That
what you
sounds
will.
sexy.
It
Worksheets?
is sexy and it's
Fill
I
that
know
out,
it,
babe.
I mean, it's 16. The one I have is 16 pages and
Okay.
it's like I will, I won't, I want, but it has every single thing you can do sexually. And then what this does is it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation about sex play, what your boundaries are, how we draw lines of consent. Like, please don't stick a finger in my ass without asking.
Boom. What
Hold
about
on,
anal
hold on.
tampering?
Yeah, we need to discuss that.
What
Why
about
do we
anal
have to
tampering?
ask? That takes away the fun of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't ask to kiss you. Like what? Here's a good question.
That's a good point.
When do we? I want to figure out consent, right? Because I don't have to ask to kiss. I want to figure out consent, right? Because I don't have to ask to
You're 30
kiss
something years
you.
old and you don't know what consent
First of
is?
all, I'm 32. Don't go 30 something. That turns into 37.
32?
etc.
You don't
So,
know
but
what
hold on.
consent is?
No. Because here's the thing.
lot of men
I don't
don't
have to
know.
ask to kiss you. I don't have to ask to touch her titties. It seems like I have to ask her any type of penetration. If I asked for every single thing I did during sex, it would be the worst sex ever.
Not necessarily.
Hey, can I touch your breast?
Oh,
Can
but
I
you could
twist
say
your
something
nipple?
like,
the
ooh, do you
volume?
like this? And then I could be like, yes.
No, I
But
don't like
that's so
that. I feel,
contrived.
and I feel like when you
Is
ask
it?
a girl, do
How
you like
know
this?
if you like it unless I'm doing it already? That's not asking for consent.
But that sounds insecure too. Like I
Really?
shouldn't have to ask you if you like this.
Yeah.
Like I should know. Like it's a rhythm going on.
So,
like,
I mean, studies show us that you cannot rely on body language to say that.
if you girls stop lying, we could.
Well,
Stop
I'm
faking.
I'm trying to listen. I'm not trying to fake. I'm trying to keep it real. I think that if you start before you have sex with your partner, you start with something like I will, I won't, I want list. Yes, it does sound corny.
Ugh.
It does sound corny, but trust me, once you kind of get that out of the way, you then create a safe word.
Why don't you
Pineapples.
get your shit out the way?
I'm trying to.
No, I mean like get your okay. You don't want my finger in your butt. What's a finger?
Yeah, but see, a lot of that stuff is better to. It's like trial and error. Like I'd rather find out you don't like a finger in your butt because I tried to stick.
Yeah,
my
but what if
finger
I
in
like a finger in your butt?
Well, I would like
Doesn't
neither
that
of you
matter?
to catch a felony on a rape charge.
But
so
that's the bullshit. Like it's not
It
like you don't
can't
do
just
shit to
do
me.
that.
Who said anything about rape?
That's
I thought
what
But
we
we're
were
talking
slow.
about consent.
No, but that's the bullshit. Like, what if there's something that you? What if there's something you enjoy that I might not enjoy? I'm gonna do it for you.
So I can stick a dick in your ass?
Do you enjoy
Where would
that?
you get a dick?
Where would you get
I got
a dick?
one in my second
Where would
dresser.
you get a dick?
The second drawer of my drawer. I
Stop,
can
that's
pull
not
it
your
out
dick.
and slay it, baby. I paid for it, just like these women in their
Okay,
hair.
actually,
They call
hold
it
up,
real.
hold up.
That's true.
If you If you
She just starting to fuck you with some
got,
yucky
no, hold
dick.
on, no, this is a good
Some Remy
question.
dick.
If you got off, the only way that you could get off was by putting a dick in my ass. I think that there would be a discussion. I don't think I would do it, but at least that there might be a discussion about it. I have to talk about that. You're my wife. I've been with you 20 years. That's the only thing that gets you off. We have kids. I don't want. I'd look.
If y'all been together 20 years and the only thing that gets her off is putting a dick in your ass, something's wrong with your penis.
No, something's wrong with her.
No, you haven't been
She's
fucking
into
her
scat.
right.
Look at all these fingers pointing
Listen,
everywhere.
So the point is this: we have to decide this whole thing with consent because it's really getting absurd. Because we hear one thing from girls, don't ask to kiss me, and then another thing from girls is you need to ask to do this. It's
Okay.
like, what are we fucking asking for?
Okay, so here's the deal.
How about I just
think-
know when you feel uncomfortable and I stop?
How about you are not Miss Cleo, because there is no Miss Cleo. You're not a psychic. Okay, she went to jail.
You don't have to be
So keep-
psychic to see a girl go, and then you go, oh, she doesn't
Yeah,
like
but
that.
by then it's rape.
Right.
But by then it's
Right.
rape.
One stroke is a rapist.
It does. It does count.
One stroke after you say no is rape, but if you put it in, she goes no, you take that
You
shit
take it out, that's not rape.
Exactly. You didn't say
Is
no
it
yet.
though? You
Your
didn't
Honor,
ask
I
to-
pulled out soon as she said no.
She said no, out.
I stopped.
Now, if it goes like this, in, no, out, back in,
No.
that's rape.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
rape.
you're rape.
Well-
If you stroke anytime after no,
It's rape. Yeah.
It's rape.
But how I know it's not no?
Well, okay, so here's a couple things. One, about the kissing. I did an experiment. I went out like a 2-week period. I went out on multiple dates with like 4 different men. Okay. And at the end of the date, I ask, may I kiss you now? And you know how many motherfuckers said no?
I would tell you no too.
And then they were like, that was weird.
That is weird. It's a woman. Women shouldn't ask to kiss
It's weird
another
when a guy asks.
Now, if a woman want to give me some pussy,
What if I was
that's
like,
a
can I
different
suck your
story.
dick
But
now?
Kissing? Yes, let's go.
See how does that
kissing
how does
is
that make
random.
sense?
First of all, we're going to let you, but we're going to still think it's weird.
No, I wouldn't.
No, we're going to think it's weird.
Kissing is random.
If you're just standing at the doorstep with a girl and she goes, can I suck your dick now?
That's what we're expecting. But a kiss?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Shows we're
You fucking liar.
Shows we're expecting
Shut
a
the
dick
fuck
sucker
up.
some pussy, but a
Shut
kiss?
the fuck
I'm
up.
not expecting no kiss. I'm
Anytime
thinking
a
something
girl
wrong with your
says,
mouth.
Can I suck your dick? You're a little bit like, hold on, what's going on?
Hold on,
right
you mean
now?
to me I took her out.
Who's watching?
Hold on, time out.
Someone watching?
Time out. So I took her out on a date.
Yeah.
Movie, dinner,
Yeah.
we get home at the night. She has to suck my dick. I'm not expecting a dick suck.
Outside the door to get into her apartment? Why don't she just
Why don't
invite
they-
you in the
I don't
apartment
expect-
and suck your dick?
Schultz, if she asks to suck my dick, I'm thinking we're gonna go in the apartment.
You don't
so
gotta
she can
ask
suck it.
permission to suck dick. You just start sucking dick.
Not right then and there on the step.
Like, well, okay, so you're saying if a girl gets to her knees and she starts trying to suck your dick, you're gonna be like, excuse me, you did not ask to suck my dick.
Time
I
out.
really need you
Pause
to
right
ask
there.
Permission.
What if the ugly wingman
Yeah,
or the wing woman
yeah,
and you
Yeah.
kind of like the take one for the team?
Yeah.
You drank a little too much.
yeah.
You pass out a
Oh,
little.
she gotta ask permission.
Now,
And
all of a
you
sudden,
know
she's riding your dick
No,
raw.
no,
Is it rape?
Yes.
So then
Look,
she didn't ask
hold on,
permission.
hold on.
Y'all was like,
You
she
didn't- you
can't
didn't
ask
let me
permission
answer.
for a
Hey,
kiss.
Michelle, you didn't let me answer. You didn't let me
Just
answer.
saying.
Is it rape if what?
If she's riding your dick
Yeah.
and you're kind of passed out or kind of.
This the ugly wing
Hold
woman.
up.
It's
that
the
every-
ugly wing
that
woman.
everybody clowns you for the next day. Like, oh, you fucked.
Kind of
You fucked Polly?
Now, let me keep it real with you. I would do the exact same thing that a lot of girls do.
Okay, tell me.
Which is, if my friend started shaming me, she raped me.
And you know what? Unfortunately, that has happened before. And here, I need to first and foremost say that none of what we're saying is trying to be insensitive to survivors, because I think that is important. Neither are we trying to victimize or blame survivors.
Catherine, this is a serious question.
Yeah.
Why do we call them rape survivors?
Because they're still alive.
Yeah, but you
But
can't
that's-
die from that.
Exactly. I
Yes,
wasn't
you
trying
can.
to kill you.
No, you don't
Yes,
die
you
from
can.
rape. You die from someone killing you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why do we
Right,
say rape
right.
survivors? Like
I
that just
think
seems like a weird term.
I think that because one, we don't want to be called victims.
Got you. That's
Right.
what you are.
You want a positive spin on it.
I mean, don't you think we deserve that? It's been a shitty experience.
There is no positive spin to rape.
It's fucking
The person
awful.
that did that to you was a
So
piece
you
of shit.
hold on.
Yeah.
You've been raped.
I am I don't identify as a survivor. I identify as a thriver.
You've thrived.
I have
Now
been
that
able
sounds
to
terrible.
thrive.
Rape thrivers
You
sounds
can't-
stupid.
I,
You can't
hey, I
thrive.
mean, you
Stop
can,
it. No,
thrive.
now stop. Listen.
I only have to be honest with you. Like when you go through something as demoralizing as having somebody take something so personal from you on the floor of a fraternity washroom.
So why not call it what it was? Why not say I was the victim of a rape? That sounds bad.
But I don't feel like a victim today. I feel like somebody who's able to talk about this and help educate other people so we don't have this happen again.
Do you mind
know?
us asking about your
Yeah.
experience?
Can you tell us what happened in this situation?
Well, unfortunately, I was, because it's important to know that rape doesn't happen with strangers. Like you're not running through Central Park and somebody jumps out at you.
I mean, that happens too. That's
It
not
does,
just-
but
yeah.
it's very
I understand
unlikely.
what you're saying.
I mean, we're
Majority
talking
of
over
rapes,
50% are acquaintance rapes.
People you know.
So it was people that I knew. I'd worked one summer, and it was some people that I knew that I worked with, and it was a big fraternity, and it was a party, and I was young. I was 16, and I drank too much. And I think that, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We all overconsume. Everybody's been too drunk. But somebody there was sober enough to see that I was too drunk.
And they took advantage of you.
Yeah, definitely.
And so everybody and your mama told you it was your fault.
But hold on.
I didn't
Before we
tell
get-
anybody.
Before we get
Really?
there. Before we
Which
get
most
there.
people don't.
So he sees you. And you're sober or you're not sober?
No, I wasn't sober. And I think
Sorry.
it happened twice
He's
that night.
sober or
He fucked you twice?
No, the first person I remember
You got a train ran on you.
was in the washroom of the fraternity house, and then I woke up in the morning in a separate.
I'm
hidden
letting you
room.
know right now, you were absolutely raped. I tell guys this all the time. Like, this is something that back in the day, we had this discussion before. Girls get drunk, guys feel like, oh shit, it's party pack, party
Right,
favor, and
right.
all of these different guys fuck them. Bro, that's rape.
question.
Right.
What if the
It's
guy
rape.
what if the guy was wasted too?
I think that's a really good point. And it's not about, like I said, we all make bad decisions. We all overconsume. But someone in that fucking party was sober enough to see that he or I were too intoxicated.
But maybe they thought you wanted it. Maybe they
Maybe
didn't
they
know.
did.
Maybe they was just like, oh,
But-
she's just a freak.
But maybe, but that's an assumption that we should not be making. And maybe it could have just been a, hey, you look a little woozy over there. Who did you come with again?
But what if you weren't acting drunk? What if he didn't know you was drunk and you was just walking around talking about how you wanted to suck dick and fuck and this?
Right.
You don't know. You don't
Yeah,
know.
You don't know. And I think that that's a really valid question. I've done some work with some organizations here and sat in on some lectures with NY's SVU. And when situations like that come, it's still rape, right? Unfortunately, because the person did not seem drunk, they're a lot harder to investigate. It's like when I sat in that meeting and I thought to myself, my own experience and like experiences of other women, my friends who I've heard these same stories from, they're like, yeah, we'll still try to prosecute it, but it's just so difficult because nobody else thought you were drunk. Like I can hold my liquor. I could go out and I can drink and be 4 sheets to the wind and not
Right.
remember anything. And people be like, really? I couldn't even tell you were drunk.
Yeah.
So I think that happens to a lot of people. And I think it's just we need to be a little more aware.
Question. Here's my
Yeah.
question. So let's give us a hypothetical situation. Let's say you're wasted, right? But let's say there's a guy who's wasted. I mean, there's guys that get drunk all the time.
Absolutely.
They wake up, right? And they go look at their window and their door, and their door is ripped off the hinges. Their window has a hole punched in it.
Yep.
And they
Butt
have
bleeding.
no recollection
Yep.
that this happened. Now,
Yep.
if that guy has sex with you,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
He blacked out too.
Yep.
Is it rape if he doesn't remember?
It's sexual assault against both of us. Like
Y'all
both
raped each other.
Yeah,
Y'all raped
you
each other, so
And
maybe
that's
you
very
raped
possible.
two people.
I've learned.
No, I don't think that was the case.
Wait, why?
You're a rapist.
You're a rapist. You're a multiple.
You're a rapist too.
Again, really not.
Oh, why you don't want to? Why you
I'm
can't
not
take
saying
some of
that.
it?
Listen,
I'm not
there are
saying
two
that.
rape thrivers
First of all-
in that
That's
fraternity
what I
right
see.
now.
I see two
I
rape
see
thrivers.
two rape thrivers.
That's
in
what
the
I see,
fraternity.
shows.
Unfortunately, they were also quite a bit older than me. So now we're talking about
They're
statutory
stats.
rape.
Well, you're 16. What
Well, you
what
shouldn't.
state?
Now listen. Now
See,
this,
now you're
this,
victim
This is true
blaming.
though, but you shouldn't have been there.
You're
No,
victim
I don't
blaming.
believe in that. I don't. That is victim
okay.
blaming. I don't
All
believe it.
right. This ain't victim blaming. How old were you?
16.
16.
You know you shouldn't have been drinking,
So now
right?
you're victim blaming.
No, but you shouldn't have been. But you shouldn't have been drinking. Why can't you take any responsibility? I'm not saying you should have been raped, but you shouldn't have been drinking. Can you at least say that?
I take all responsibility until a man was on top of me and I said, please stop.
I'm with you on that.
Please don't do
I'm with
this.
you on that.
Oh, you did say that.
Yes.
So you
multiple times.
remember?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought you blacked
Yes.
out. You don't even know
No.
where you are.
No.
Oh, that's different.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How
Oh.
much responsibility?
I have to accept responsibility for being there. I have to accept responsibility for consuming alcohol. I have to accept responsibility for even the attire I wear. Not to say that
No,
a woman
not
can-
that.
Oh,
No, you
hold
don't.
on.
No, you
Let me
don't.
finish. Not to say that a woman cannot wear what she wants to wear. I'm all for that. But you have to understand the complexities of the whole entire situation. And I accept responsibility of my part up until I said, no,
Listen,
please
those
stop.
guys had no business doing what they did to you, whether you was intoxicated or not.
Right.
But I feel like it was a whole bunch of wrong that happened.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when you got these different bullet points and wrong, it just leads up to one big wrong.
It's a bad
You
wrong.
16, you shouldn't have been around these older guys. You
Absolutely.
shouldn't have been drinking.
Absolutely.
These motherfuckers shouldn't have been drunk preying on a young girl. It just creates a
Absolutely.
big
Sure.
combustible
Sure,
situation.
but one thing
Of wrong.
doesn't make the other happen. I think you can be drunk, be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not get
But
raped.
one does make the other
But
happen.
once
no,
you
no.
say no,
But that's my issue. Is I didn't know in this story that you had said no. I thought that you had been drunk and didn't remember what happened.
I
If you specifically remember, because the second person you had sex with, you don't recall.
that one I do not recall because at that point, I mean, this is what happens to people who go through this.
Of course, it's blurry.
It's blurry,
Of
and then
course.
what happens is you don't leave.
Yeah.
Because now you start to blame yourself. You don't want your friends to know. You don't want anybody
course,
to know.
yeah.
So you may go back to the party. You may continue to drink because now you're really fucked up in the head. You're
Yeah.
like trying to manage what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, I think it's unfair for me to say that it was two people. I do remember waking up with a different person, but for me to charge that person with that would not be fair. The one person that I remember saying, no,
Yeah.
please do not do this. I thought we were friends. Please don't do this.
You ended up in another bed with another guy.
Yeah.
Was he naked when you woke up next to you?
I didn't have, I remember I didn't have my original shirt and I had to walk home in a Kurt Cobain t-shirt. I mean, it was very painful. I was 16 years old. Like, can you imagine that? But now, quickly, I want you to kind of fall back and think of, real quick, first 5 women in your life that mean something.
Yeah, I got 2 daughters.
2 daughters,
Yeah.
your wife,
Absolutely.
your mother. Do you have a sister?
Yeah,
Two
but
of them.
you don't like
2
it.
sisters. Okay. So out of the 5 that are most important to you, pick one because she will be raped in her lifetime, statistically.
I'm
Which
with
one?
you. You're absolutely right. But I can't speak on her situation. 'cause
Yeah,
it's not
but
my
I'm not. But
situation
it's
to speak
not.
on. But
It's
you're
not
right.
your situation. I'm just saying. Everybody in here could name. Everybody listening could name 5 women in their life that they hold very, very dear. And
Absolutely.
statistics say that one of them, at least one of them, before their lifetime ends, will be raped.
I wanted out of the 5 that you just named, one of them that happened to them, but they were drugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens too. But the most convenient drug for a predator is alcohol. And I don't just mean this as men, because I think we have to take onus as women and we have to pull back and be like, how many women out there have preyed on men? How many women out there have preyed on a wealthy guy? I mean,
Shit, All-Star Weekend.
how many women? I mean, I have friends myself who have made
was the
jokes
reckoning.
about getting athletes drunk
Yeah.
and
get
trying to get
pregnant.
impregnated by them.
Sure.
So I'm not saying
That's rape.
Hello, that is rape.
Yeah.
But we don't,
Nobody cares when men get raped. That's the fucked up
because we
part.
don't talk about it the way we should.
Nah, because we're like, whatever. We shrugged that off. We're
That's
like,
because
"She got me."
historically, you've been told that that's just the sexual script.
'Cause
You're
we're not
supposed
being
to.
entered. That's really what it is.
Well-
I think it has to do with penetration. If you strapped on and raped me,
Oh yeah, you would scream rape.
then that's rape.
And guess
You
what?
know what I mean?
Hold on. You know what nobody ever talks about? What if you know it's men out here raping other men on the low?
Of course there are.
Ain't nobody
It's
speaking about
It's
that.
like 1 in 17 men will be sexually assaulted. I think it's 1 in 17. I have it all written down.
Here's just to I guess kind of not conclude, but just to go back to the story you're saying. The second you say no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what you wore that night. I don't care if you were drinking. I don't care if anybody fed you alcohol. The second you say the words no,
Right.
get off of me, it doesn't matter. None of that
Right.
applies, regardless if you should or shouldn't have been there. None of that applies.
Right.
Okay. Just like if you guys were in a fight, if somebody punched you in the face or beat the shit out of you that same night, it doesn't matter. Let me finish. In my personal opinion, it doesn't matter. You said no, that's rape. I think there are a lot of situations also where a girl goes to a party, she gets drunk and doesn't remember what happened. But a guy also got drunk, doesn't remember what happened.
Yeah.
That girl wakes up and she goes, fuck, did I sleep with him? This guy took advantage of me. When he doesn't remember either. And he's like, he probably lives the rest of his life thinking he took advantage of a girl when he was equally passed the fuck out.
And I think that that's something to be spoken about. And I appreciate these types of conversations, as uncomfortable as they are. I think that they're important to have because we need to unpack this and we need to start having real dialogue around what is consent and how do we understand it. It's a fucking gray area. There is no line that's like this.
I don't think it's that deep. I think it's yes or no. I think you know when you shouldn't be taking some pussy.
I agree with
No,
you.
you don't if you're passed out, if you're blacked out and she's blacked out. That's my point. Is if you're completely blacked out, you don't remember what happened the night before.
This is something I've learned just with experience. And this is why I try to tell young dudes. If a girl's too drunk, a girl's too high, a girl's passed out, leave it alone.
What if
Yeah,
you're too
I
drunk?
always say,
If I'm too drunk, I ain't fucking. I'm gonna pass out.
right.
But
I
you
always
don't know that. That's what I'm saying is, dude, there's so many tricky shit. Right now,
You just know who you should and
I'm
shouldn't
just
be
saying,
fucking.
if she looks like she will puke on your dick while she's sucking it, that's some pussy you don't need tonight.
Yeah.
And you know who you should and shouldn't be fucking. Like I just don't fuck.
Charlie,
Like,
that's such an easy thing to say.
It
but
is,
you don't
though.
know. You don't make good decisions
But-
when you're drunk. So many
but
people,
here's
people
my
decide
question.
to drive when they're drunk.
But
They're not
here's my
gonna-
question. You have to understand that there is messaging going on out there that's telling men and young boys, when she says no, she really just wants you to fight for it a little bit more.
yeah, the
And we
message
said-
is exactly what you said.
And we
verbatim.
sending that message out over and over again. Now, you know, if we continue to spread this message or this misogynistic music of like, I put a Molly in her drink, she ain't even know it. Like we want to now drug women to get them in bed. Let's face it, a lot of bitches is fucking.
Yes, they are.
Women will give you the pee. Just act right.
Yeah.
And be able to fuck and eat pussy. But you can get the pee, but it's a conversation. It's about communication, you know? I think that we do need to talk about men that are being sexually assaulted by women. I had some really good friends who was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you having a baby? Oh, yeah, you know. Who's the girl? You've been dating her a while? Oh, this is my ex. We've been on and off. And then I heard this like other things around the relationship. All her friends already had kids. She's about 4 years older than he is. Nigga, you got caught. She trapped you.
That's your fault, though. You're an idiot to get
But
caught.
are you?
Yes, you're an
Because
idiot.
we as humans, our
No.
bodies are designed to do four
We gotta
things:
take
eat,
personal
sleep,
responsibility.
shit, and fuck.
Pull out and
That's
lay it
like-
on her chest.
Yeah.
It's very easy. We've been doing
I
this shit
guess.
our whole fucking lives. Pull out and put it on the titties.
Yep.
It's very simple.
It's another component of this I don't want to just dismiss. And I don't, like, because I got daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's a reason we tell our daughters, it's a reason there's rules. You're 16 years old, you're not supposed to be drinking.
But you don't want to victim. You don't want
I'm
to
not
victim
victim
blame her.
blaming, but wrong begets wrong. That's the reason there is rules.
So
because
I agree with you that you have to teach your daughters how to know dangerous situations. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate that is the world we live in.
drinking at 16 is a dangerous situation.
On all
period.
accords.
I don't give a fuck where you're at, what you're doing, why are you drinking at 16?
On all accords.
Number two, why are you with all these grown ass college kids?
Well, I also was already a senior in high school. I mean, I graduated high school young.
Okay.
So I was a little bit advanced in that respect. But I think that, you know, everybody was between the ages of 16 and like 19. It wasn't like they were
okay.
seniors in college.
Gotcha,
they were
gotcha.
like freshmen and sophomores in college.
That's 18, 19.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference between high school and college. I think what Charlamagne is trying to say is we can't just say, hey, you're victim blaming because it avoids a conversation. There
It
is
takes away
personal-
all the wrong shit.
Exactly. There is
You did
personal
not deserve to get
responsibility.
raped at all. There's no, but you
But
shouldn't
you
have been
also
drinking. You
should
was
take
wrong.
responsibility. For example, if you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, or you're hanging out with gang members, and all of a sudden they do some shit, and you end up going to jail for a night because of it. Your father is going to go to you. You see what happens when you
When you
hang
hang
out
around
with
the
these
wrong
people.
crowd.
But
That's
what
You
if
see
you
what the fuck
grow up
happens.
and these
He's
weren't
not
the
victim
wrong
blaming him.
crowds?
He's not victim blaming. He's saying this. You have to take responsibility for hanging in the
But
wrong
That's what I'm
crowd.
trying to say. These acquaintance rapes, they're not necessarily seen as the wrong crowd because oftentimes these are individuals' peers.
When I was in college, I didn't hang out with no fucking high school kids.
Hell no.
None.
And I don't want you drinking. That's all I'm
didn't
saying. Why
either.
for me and my dog, I'd be mad about the situation. Number one, that she got raped. I'd want to kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's number one. But number two, I am on your ass. Like, why the fuck were you drinking?
Well, how
This is
how
what
does that
happens.
make her feel? Like, I clearly know that drinking is bad, Dad.
Yeah,
like I was your kid at
especially now.
16,
After you, but I don't want to have to go that far. I don't want
But
to.
you didn't drink at 16?
Of course, with
Of course I
16-year-olds.
did.
That's my point. We've all this is how we learning about life. It's just I think that the kind
But
of
isn't the key to life is smart people learn from their own mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others.
Oh.
So I should be able to tell you that stove was hot, so you
You
don't have
should
to touch
also
yourself.
be able to make mistakes yourself. I think that's part of
But
life.
that's a
You
huge
learn from
mistake.
your mistakes, but we all make mistakes. It's a huge mistake. It sucked in that situation.
But we also live in an age where violence against women is normalized and it's okay.
That is a fact.
So it's bigger than us and it's bigger than, you know, whether you're angry at your daughter. We live in a world where underage drinking, hypersexualization of children, like why do we put babies in bikinis? I've never understood that. Little baby girls in bikinis. What's
Weird.
the sense in that?
Weird.
And then we have Sports Illustrated and we use bikinis to like make women sexy and then we're putting them on toddlers.
Yeah.
Look at the Halloween costumes we have. We have gone back to a day where we look at women as chattel. Like that's like
oh yeah, I tell
like-
people, women are like Jordans.
yeah, it's like we can buy, sell, trade.
Word up.
But hold on, we don't choose their costumes. You do.
It's not about our costumes. It's more about whether I wear, for example, I'm wearing a very conservative blouse, a pair of seersucker pants and heels. If I was in Harlem, I couldn't walk 3 blocks without 8 people trying to holler at me.
It's them ankles, ma.
Right, my ankles.
ankles out,
Use
ma.
ankles is so,
Got them
so
ankles out,
fly.
ma.
Nice ankle, very refined.
ankles.
You know,
very
but
refined
so
ankle.
when you think about it like that,
Good hair. You have nice hair too.
Thank you.
Yeah, skin is
it's-
looking good.
I appreciate that,
No
but that's not what they
acne.
say. They're like, oh. And then if I don't say hello back, which I'm never not the type, because I learned my lesson. If I don't say hi back, now I'm a bitch. Like one time I had these 3 men hollering at me so much, I spun around so quick. I said, listen to me, young man. First of all, I'm old enough to be your mother. Second of all, if you really want some pussy, that's not how you approach.
Yeah.
Because your game is way off. You still want to mess with these scallywag girls, gone ahead, but you would never address me like that. But I also teach young women the same thing. You cannot fall for this bullshit. And when I talk to young women, I say, so you're letting all these men have sex with you. Are you coming? Are you having an orgasm? Because if you're just laying there, you're not saying anything. You're not telling them what you like. You're not telling them how to do it. You're not telling them that they're bad at it. What's the difference between that and non-consensual sex? What are you, just a hole? If you're not getting yours, what are you doing?
What is non-consensual sex, and how is that different from rape?
Okay, so non-consensual sex and rape are very, very similar. Non-consensual, so rape is usually by force.
Okay.
Penetration by force or fear of bodily harm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill you unless you let me have
Right.
sex
I'm
with
going to
so you
kill
lay
you. I'm
there.
going to punch you, or
Boom,
you
boom.
might hold someone down.
Yeah.
Non-consensual sex is usually more based in psychological or emotional coercion.
Can you give me examples?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, I thought you loved me. If you loved me,
Are you raping me right now?
you would have sex with me.
Because you're
Or-
kind of good at this.
Or if it would be like,
This rape shit ain't that bad. We call that game.
If you were to say, it's a lot of coercion. Like if you really cared about me, you would do it. It's power.
But how is
Rape
it
not about
non-consensual?
sex.
That's
If
his
you tell
game.
me yes, or you give me permission to
That's
fuck
not
you, how's
gay.
it non-consensual?
No, it's non-consensual because you might be like, I'm not giving you a ride home unless you
There we go.
unless you.
So
do
then
this.
get an Uber. Like, at a certain point in time,
If you say
There
yes
are
to this,
some women though that don't have like there was. I'm not gonna lie because I lived in Hollywood for 10 years. I modeled, I acted. I had gone on a date with a producer, and he literally gave me the ultimatum:
What'd he
you
say?
either put out
are you not getting in this movie?
or you're not getting a ride home.
okay.
So I walked my motherfucking ass right on home, met a really cool Mexican at a bus stop, smoked some Mexican weed, and was like, whatever.
That's perfect.
But there are some girls that would
But
not
if you-
have the balls to do
But
that.
you're saying if you slept with him, that would have been rape.
That would have been coercion because I slept with him under
All
duress.
of it is coercion.
No, but you
No,
agreed.
If I take you to a
consented.
If I
No.
take you out, if I take you to a movie, if I take you to dinner, if I buy you some shoes, all of it's coercion.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
you
coerce
just
into
got the
fucking
shit
me.
first.
No, I'm
So
telling
if you get it after the sex, then it's rape.
I don't like that
Before the
term
sex is not.
non-consensual sex because if I offer you a ride for some pussy and then I end up
You
fucking
didn't offer
you,
me a ride. You told me that if I didn't have sex with you, you would not give me a ride home. I could be not feeling safe. I could be like, well, fuck, I'm scared. I need to get home. The only way I'm going to get home is if I give out the pussy.
Janae Aiko says, I might let your boy show for me, but you got to eat the booty like groceries. So that was coercion.
Pretty much, yes.
This shit is crazy.
But see, do you see
So
how?
she's
how
raping.
Yes,
no,
she's
it's
raping.
coercion because she was like, because she
I
said,
might let your boy show for me. So
he can-
meaning I might let you drive me around, but you got to eat my ass.
yes.
So why
That
doesn't
would-
she lose any of her endorsement deals like Rick Ross did? Because she a rapist.
Well, she's not. First of all, let's retract that. She's not a rapist. And she
Hold on,
said,
hold on.
I might let you drive me around, which would be she's not giving him a ride. She's forcing him. That right there, that's what I mean by denigration. That is denigration. Oftentimes people into scat play, taking it back to scat
Why
play.
is denigration when we do it, but it's rape when you do it?
No. It's not because it's different. It's not an ultimatum. It wasn't. That was not an ultimatum.
I
She's
might
like,
let
I
your
might
boy
let you
show for
drive
me.
him. Basically, I might let you drive me around.
Yeah.
But you got to eat my ass if you want to drive me around.
So
That's
I
BDSM.
might drive
That's
you
the-
around back to your house
No,
if
not
you
the
give
same.
me some pussy.
That is very different than That is very different than I will not take you home unless you put out.
Yo, it's levels to this rape shit.
It
I didn't
is.
know.
There are
just
definitely
Back in my
levels.
day, rape was just throw a girl down, take the pussy, drug her, take the pussy. It was
Now they can
No.
say you can have sex with me and it's still rape because I had good ass coercion techniques.
No.
Let's pay some bills and find
No.
out what level of rapist Wax is. Because he's definitely a rapist. We just don't know what level.
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
All right. Now, let's take a pause from this very intense show, okay, to tell you about Viceland, a new TV channel from Vice, okay? Have you checked out Weed Kit, which takes an in-depth look at the new weed culture sweeping the country? It's not some Cheech and Chong shit. Hey, Chris, get Wax. It's a very in-depth look at issues like medical marijuana, helping cancer patients and veterans returning with PTSD.
PTSD is what it should be.
All right. Chris wrote PTSD. I was wondering what the fuck that
He
was.
just had STD in his brain, and that's
Okay.
why that shit came out.
As well
Chris
as-
got the bumpy one.
It's also looking at how messed up our drug laws are. You might also have checked out Gaycation. Ellen Page and Ian Daniel set off on a journey to explore LGBTQ cultures around the world. Now, when we recently ran that survey, only 1% of you identified as gay, but that can't be true, okay? I know that the kids live for me, all right? Somebody's lying, all right? So maybe a lot of you are checking for Gaycation on the low.
Charlamagne's ego won't allow 1%.
I know gay men check for me, okay?
Another cool one is Flophouse, which is about broke stand-up comedians. In the show, filmmaker Lance Bangs documents this network of couches and the stand-ups that crash on them. Features comedians Claire O'Kane, Solomon Giorgio, Brandon Wardell, and many other funny people. And of course, make sure that you check out Fuck That's Delicious, hosted by none other than Action Bronson and co-starring Big Body Best, Mayhem Lauren, and Alchemist.
First of all, Big Body Best is a funny motherfucker. I listened to Big Body Best on Tax podcast.
Yeah.
I could hear the felonies in his breath. All right?
hilarious.
I could hear the criminal offenses as he spoke, okay?
Well, there's plenty of food porn, plus lots of rappers smoking weed and eating delicious meals after delicious meals. So if excess is your thing, shits that's delicious.
It's
or
fuck that's delicious.
Whoever wrote this did a horrible job this week. Was
Fuck
this Matt
that's Chris
Raz?
Moreau.
Was this Chris Moreau? Fired. If you fired from writing the copy. Be sure to check that Fuck That's Delicious out on Viceland TV. If you don't know where to find Viceland, check out Dish, DTV, AT&T, and Verizon, plus lots of local carriers.
Absolutely.
Okay, real quick before, and we're going to bring Wax in right now, which is the reason why I wanted you to come on, Michelle. But I have a question. Recently, the captain of the Yale men's basketball team, I don't know if you heard about this, he was expelled from the school, kicked off the team, expelled from the school with no police investigation or anything like that because the school found him guilty of having non-consensual sex with a girl. Now, the story goes is he and this girl had a prior relationship. They had sex 3 times, right? The 4th time, they had sex during the day. They go their separate ways. 4 hours later, I believe she calls him to meet up again. They go meet up again and spend the night together.
Did she? Well, also non-consensual sex is if she's passed out and he has sex with her. So if she's so drunk, she's passed out.
Well, I don't know if that was the case. I'm not exactly sure. The point is that they willfully, consensually agreed to meet up after this non-consensual
So they
sexual
fucked 4
experience.
times already.
They fuck 3 times. They have sex the 4th, which I guess is the rape or non-consensual sex, and then they agree to meet up consensually and then spend the night together after, and then maybe have sex again. How is that? How do you get expelled with no police investigation given those facts? If I'm a judge, I'm looking at this like, hold up. How do you get raped and then want to hang out with him later that night and spend the night with him?
Okay. So also with rape victims, oftentimes what happens, or rape survivors, what happens is it takes them a while to process what has actually happened. So there are some states now that won't do sexual assault interviews until 2 sleep cycles after the assault has occurred, because if there was alcohol involved, if there was some type of trauma, a lot of times people will black out what has happened initially, and they have to let their brain kind of recover from the trauma to be able to say what is happening. Now, is he expelled? I haven't read the whole case. Is he expelled indefinitely?
Indefinitely.
I think also
Kicked out of school.
I think also you have to look at, there's recently been quite a few schools that are under investigation for Title IX infringement because they're not reporting rape. So this could be an example of, and I'd have to double check, and I will, Yale being on that list, and instead of them, taking this lightly or pussyfooting around the subject, they're like, let's just nip this shit in the bud, because they may already be under investigation for Title IX infringement, and if that happens, they will lose their federal funding.
Does it seem fishy to you, someone who has gone through, who's been raped, and then here's this situation? What do you feel like?
I think that when it comes to how people view their relationships, sometimes men may think that they have a right to a woman's body.
Fact.
That's interesting that you say that.
And unfortunately, they don't really have that right.
Men feel entitled, especially if I already fucked you 3 times.
And especially if they're athletes and they're a star athlete and they think they can get away with it. Scary enough, because of how historically athletics has looked at sexual assault and things of that nature. I had an 11th grader once tell me, who had some incidences, told me, well, that's why I became an athlete, because I'll be able to get away with it.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm telling you, that's the messaging that we're sending, though.
Wow.
Well, let's find out what
we're talking about being entitled to pussy.
Yeah, let's find out what kind of rapist Wax is, because he's definitely a rapist.
We have Wax in the room.
Definitely
What
not
kind?
a rapist.
Now, Michelle. Mm-hmm. I need you to lock in with us right now.
Yes.
Wax, tell Michelle what you and Powder used to do.
What we all used to do.
I never used to do it.
Hold on, who's Powder?
I saw a boy from down south. Well, he's from Jersey, but he's down south.
Jersey. We got a store called All Seasons in Charlotte. But I was just
These are so-called jumping chicks.
we jump mad girls off. There's
Tell them
nothing
what
wrong with
jumping
that.
off is.
When a girl is 2 dudes and a girl, we just smashing off. She knows she's gonna get smashed by both of us
Okay,
anyway.
Wax will be fucking a girl from the back.
Mm-hmm.
Powder will come in. They don't tell the girl, they just switch
She
it.
know what time
And then
it
Powder will
is.
fuck them.
She know.
At what
time
point
it
did you
is.
tell her what time
They
it was?
don't.
She stop it.
She
man.
looks back and realizes it, and they
Knock
just like
it
chill.
off.
They
I
like
feel
chill.
really sad for every woman
Stop,
who's ever met you. Then.
See how you making me feel?
Well, I think, would you do it to your mother?
Ooh,
See?
there
You want
go.
somebody to
Go
jump
ahead.
your mother?
There you go.
Answer the
I had
question.
to talk
You got,
to this,
you got a bunch
this girl.
of nieces too.
Would you want those girls
How
jumped?
many nieces you
I
got?
already
How
know
about we
you're an
like?
asshole. I already know you're an
It's not
asshole.
about being an
We had
asshole,
a-
because
we
right
already had
now,
a talk
from
on the outside.
what it
She's an
sounds
asshole.
like, you kind of
know
an
what I'm
asshole.
saying? No, he's the asshole for tell you lies. That's
I'm
not
lying?
exactly
You just
how
told me
I'm
what it
lying.
was.
No, I didn't tell you.
Hold
he
on.
told you.
Did anybody ever say no? Stop.
Never. Girls knew what time it was.
How did they know what time it was?
Athletes, like you said.
I don't give a
I'm
fuck if
just
it's
saying,
an
we was
athlete or
athletes and
not.
they didn't mind us both fucking them. If a girl didn't want us there, she'd tell us no, or she wouldn't even come over.
So you felt you was entitled because y'all was athletes.
Yo,
Wait a
girls
minute.
wanted to give us pussy because we was athletes.
But can I ask you a question? Did you also know
No
that?
girl never said no. No means rape. Smash it
said
and
no
coming back
means
again
rape.
and get smashed again. You know what I'm saying? That
So
don't
what
mean,
I'm hearing you say, because let me understand this very
'cause
clearly.
he made it seem crazy.
It does sound kind of crazy.
No.
That's what I've been trying to tell you for years.
Stop,
It is
man,
crazy.
stop. He is so fucking crazy.
You talking about I made it
What's
sound
wrong with
crazy.
him? So
You
we-
made it.
we
You made
know-
what OJ
yo,
did to Nicole sound crazy.
No.
You chopped her up and shit. And killed her boyfriend. You made that shit sound crazy. Like,
No, he making it sound out of control. It wasn't. It never went down.
How
like
many
that.
women came back for seconds?
Most of them.
What's most?
90%, 95%.
To get tag teamed.
Yeah, it was just something that we always did, even through high school. Everybody was jumping girls off.
I mean,
Yo, she got jumped off. It was like a thing back in the day.
Years
we
of
always
rapes.
jump girls.
Did you ever have sex with a girl
Serial
without another
rapist.
man in the room?
you're a serial
Most
rapist.
of the time.
You are. You're right. Miss Hope, you're right.
because it's a
it's not
pattern.
bullshit.
It's someone that is a
Stop it. I
serial
ain't do that in
rapist
so
has a
long.
pattern, knows what they're doing, knows how to coerce a woman to get there. You did the same fucking thing probably to every single girl. You had a bottle of Henny,
Nah,
some fucking
I
hip
don't
hop
drink.
music,
I
some
don't drink.
some weed. Like, yeah,
They
we
probably blew
finna
it
turn
down.
up. We
Yeah, they probably blew
finna
it
smoke.
down.
That is premeditated.
Okay, what if you're in a club?
Stop
right?
it.
What if you're in
I
a
can't
club?
you smoke weed with
Hold
you
on,
and get
is
no
buying
pussy?
bottles premeditated?
Stop it.
Come on.
Stop
Crazy.
it.
Come on.
Crazy.
What did you say,
Crazy.
Wax? What did you say?
So
I'm
if you
smoking
smoke
weed
weed
with a
with
girl and
somebody,
then
she's
she
putting out.
smashed,
Wait, does she have to put out?
I'm just saying, you smoking my weed, the hell wrong with you?
Wow.
Fuck wrong with you, man?
Wow.
Don't come smoke my weed with me if you ain't trying to give me no pussy.
I love
You
that
got
we've
nieces,
now,
bro.
So I hope.
You got nieces,
Yeah.
bro. I keep telling you that shit.
Hey, niece, don't go to that nigga house and smoke his weed and you ain't trying to get no pussy.
Wow.
Hold on.
Stop it, man.
Here's
Knock
a
it
question.
off.
Here's
You
a
should be
question.
ashamed of
Wax
yourself,
Fields.
I'm telling
He's
you.
very
Wax-
passionate about
Wax
his
do
opinion.
nothing
Wax has
unless
said
you wanna get
this
some
on
pussy.
this show. He says he doesn't think that it is possible to rape your wife.
No.
Why is that?
Because neither one of y'all could both say no. She can't rape me and I can't rape her.
Why can't? So I can stick a strap on and fuck you in the ass hard with no lube, no motherfucking
No.
Vaseline,
There you go, Miss
and
Lady.
now I didn't rape you.
No,
There you go, boo boo kitty.
That
Bend
is
over,
rape. That
baby.
is rape. No,
Bend
no,
over.
That's something I'm gonna say no to. So that is.
And I'm
be
gonna
rape.
say no to putting out on Thursday at 9 o'clock, nigga, because I just got my
Scandals on.
motherfucking hair done.
And scandals on.
So can I say no? Say if you got some lingerie on and it's fucking Valentine's Day and I had to work 18 hours.
Sure.
And I get to say no to you?
Yep, because I got a
Bullshit.
dildo that I'll put in your ass if you
No,
fuck with
see,
me.
that's
There you
fucked
go.
up. I can't do that to her. She gonna rape me.
No,
She trying to rape me, yo.
for all the years of all
married.
Rape Wax.
That's what you say.
Y'all
It's not
married.
rape. You just said
No.
it's not.
That's
not rape.
You say no.
Your wife can't rape you.
She's talking about.
now
You talking
he's
about.
changing his
you talking
opinion.
about- I
Exactly.
say
Your
no.
wife can't rape you, Wax.
Whoa.
I thought your wife
vow.
couldn't
She
rape
just
you.
now
took
told
a
me that
vow.
I can't say no. She said, "Oh, you want to say no? I got to strap on a wrap so I can fuck you in the ass."
That's not
rape.
rape.
So then, if a
You said-
woman,
you said
if your
no.
wife
No,
says
I'm
no,
saying-
it's rape.
I'm saying
You gotta
no
make her
because,
happy.
listen,
Hold on,
exactly.
Wax. You're saying you can walk
Exactly.
back into the house in your boxers looking all cute and she can't fuck you in your ass?
Word up.
You're bugging. Hell no.
Why you got to make her happy, as you just said,
Hell
Wax?
no.
So when she's in lingerie, you're allowed to have sex with her, but when you're in your
No,
boxers,
if
she
she's
can't
in
fuck
lingerie
your
and I
asshole.
come home, I'm like, man, she want to have sex. There's no way you could tell your girl, your wife, no.
Yes, you
Impossible.
can.
Yes, you
Who?
can.
What man ever did that?
Absolutely told girls.
I
that
know
was on
there's
the move.
ample
Fuck
men
outta
I've
here.
dated that was like, I'm tired.
Anybody don't want to smash you then?
What?
I'm just
Really?
saying.
Okay. I'll take that.
All right, listen.
I'll take that L.
What about if you're in a club, right? You in a club and, a girl's there. This big motherfucker walk up to you. He hits you in the ribs, points you to the direction of the bathroom.
Rape.
100% rape.
All right.
This is
Wait, what happened?
bullshit.
No, I mean,
Hold
why
on,
is
what?
he hitting me in the ribs, first
like,
of all?
Hit your rib, points to the
Yeah,
bathroom.
that
I'm
made
just
her
going to
wet.
look at
That
him
made her
crazy.
wet.
Like,
He points to the bathroom. You go in the bathroom with
Yeah,
him.
bullshit.
well, why did I go in the bathroom with him?
That's my question.
That's-
If
I
you
mean,
decide
again-
to go in the bathroom,
But
you know what's gonna
I
happen.
mean,
Put the pants down?
let me tell you this. If I don't know. I think again we talked about earlier being responsible and aware.
Right, 3 o'clock in the
Why
morning.
am I going into a bathroom with a big man?
He hit you in the ribs. Your life's in danger.
First of all,
No security, nobody
wait,
there,
did he
bro.
hit me in the ribs? Like
Like
did he say? I would just assume he was, trying to dab and didn't know how to do it and just hit me. Like,
Word
oh,
up.
sorry, bro. I didn't mean to
Yeah,
bump
wrong
into you.
person.
Maybe I was backing it up too hard, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run into you. I'm not going to
Thank you for
assume that
clarifying
he's.
this up.
I think that it would have to be like, no.
if you
I'm
go
not going
into
to
the bathroom with
bathroom.
him, is he wrong to feel? You go into the men's bathroom with him, is he wrong to feel that you might want to engage in some sort of sexual act?
I think that here's again, I cannot speak for anybody's individual mind. I can only speak for my own mind, which would tell me not to go into a men's
Thank you.
bathroom at
Gotcha.
3 o'clock
Thank
in the
you.
morning.
But that don't mean you should get raped.
No, it does not mean you
never
should get
that.
raped.
Never.
And that don't mean that you owe the guy no pussy.
Hell no,
either.
I don't owe you shit. No
but
pun intended.
Don't go in there.
Scat,
You know what I'm saying? Don't go. So say you had to do house 3 o'clock in the morning, and y'all just happen to be just eating, and he trying to get some pussy from you.
I'm probably going to be like, I'm going to need an Uber.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Right?
I don't need, why? First of all, why am I at your house at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to get.
But
them
that
to
don't mean you should
understand.
get raped.
No,
Wax.
it doesn't mean you should get
that,
raped.
But you putting yourself in a fucked up situation.
No, you're not. Is it a studio?
No, his
Clearly,
crib.
clearly,
crib.
it's not a
Let's just
studio.
flip
I'll
the
just
switch.
sleep on the couch.
Let's just flip the switch.
All right.
You go over to her house,
No
right?
doubt.
You guys are smoking some weed, drinking as late as fuck,
No
right?
doubt.
She goes to the bathroom, comes out the bathroom, got a 12-inch dildo strapped onto herself.
Okay, let me hear it.
You came to my house and smoked my motherfucking weed. Bend over, motherfucker.
Word up.
Give me that
you
butthole.
can't do that.
Why? You
smoke
just
weed,
said
nigga.
that. You just said that if a
Fuck
girl
that.
comes to your
Give me
house,
that
smoke
regular
it.
shit.
Oh,
This
bro.
is regular shit.
That is regular for me.
Guess what?
That's
I'm out.
regular.
You
Bye.
ain't going
nowhere.
I'm not raping
Yeah,
you.
you
out.
ain't
You ain't going nowhere.
Guess
You
what?
in the middle of
You
smoked her
I'm gonna
weed.
tell you this
You
about-
ain't going
I'm
nowhere.
gonna tell you this about man and woman. I'm strong enough to get the fuck out of there.
How you
And
know
that's
not
why. See,
happening.
he said it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
He said it right there.
I'm getting the fuck
He's-
out of
no,
there.
here's the
Listen
thing.
to what she
Go
said.
So
ahead.
what you said? You said these girls jump. They just knew what was coming. They got jumped. So first of all, I think that's ironically a creepy term since we used to refer to getting jumped as being beat up.
Yeah.
So you're using it in a sexual context. So now we've taken language that we know as violent language and you've put it in a sexual context. That's one. Two, you just said it best. I'm a big motherfucker. I'm strong enough. Da 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 da. Boom. So now you got two big niggas coming at me and they athletes. So here I am. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I didn't know it was going to be two of them. And three, studies show us that you have a fight or a flight or a fight or like a freeze capability, right? Oftentimes people think, oh, I would fight back because that's what misogynistic individuals use against victims. Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you scratch it? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Pause. What you really need to know is that the science has shown us that individuals who have been sexually assaulted, oftentimes, especially if they've been molested as children, will freeze because as children, they did not have the strength to fight someone off. Similarly to a 120-pound girl and two football players.
She had to be that. You know, she in South Carolina. She at least 200.
No, it doesn't matter.
Well, actually, making light of some shit you shouldn't be making light of.
So I'm not saying
we never raped a girl. You'll never hear.
You definitely raped a girl. That's the problem with men. We don't.
Careful.
Careful, because nobody wants phone calls coming in. Next thing you know,
this is important. Don't ever say you definitely raped a girl.
That's not rape?
No,
That's not rape culture?
No.
What am I lying?
rape culture.
That's rape culture.
That's out of control.
Culture.
You want me to rape somebody? What the fuck?
I'm
It
a
is rape
man that's
culture.
trying to keep other men from
It
getting
is.
charged.
You know what you're doing?
It is.
You're horse
It
shaming
is.
right now.
Never say that she.
You're
told me
horse
no,
shaming.
and I
How
can
you
take
know
you
that
there.
girl just didn't want two ball players to
100%.
fuck her? What's
You'll
wrong with
never-
that?
Why do you
And I
have this
think
woman here right now?
It's- I think that
I told girls no when they did.
Why do you have
Hold
Ms.
on.
Hope here?
We're having two conversations.
Okay.
Listen.
You have Ms. Hope here
I have Ms.
because
Hope
you've heard
here.
stories from Wax that sound a lot like what?
No, I have Miss Hope here because a lot of Wax's victims need hope.
Exactly. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to
It's
put it out there.
bullshit.
I think it's fun to joke around about Wax being a
It's
rapist.
definitely
But when
a
we
joke.
start saying
I don't
shit
think
like,
it's funny.
It's
I've
not.
been telling them
That's
it's
a part of
funny.
the problem.
Stop the
But
bullshit.
Charlamagne,
This
but-
guy is so fucking
Charlamagne.
crazy. Yo, the girls come around, he trying to make me like the piece of shit.
I know.
You're not you know what it is? You're not a piece of shit. And people who are
He knows
rapists,
better. That's the
here's the
problem.
thing. People who hurt people
Yeah.
have been hurt. More times than not, people who are
I definitely been molested.
He's been molested.
Again,
No.
first
been
and
molested
foremost,
a lot.
I really apologize,
That was
and
cool.
it's not.
Thank God I wasn't a man.
It's not. But the thing is it's not, because when this happens to young men and young boys, and we don't talk about it, and we don't honor their feelings, and we don't honor the psyche and the psychological stress that comes with this. Because you talked about PTSD. I have PTSD. There are a lot of women, post-traumatic stress syndrome. There's a lot of women who have PTSD from sexual assault. And there are probably a lot of young men who have it too, but don't
what that
necessarily recognize it because they haven't done the work. So I apologize that someone ever touched you inappropriately.
Explain to him how PTSD might affect him.
Well, you should tell her your story. Tell her how you used to get molested.
Like we used to have to do hide and go seek. They used to make me go in the basement and eat girls out for like a whole hour. For an hour. And I used to eat pussy. I used to eat pussy. That's why I wasn't eating pussy for a long time prior to college because I had to eat pussy for hours.
That's
I know what a yeast
PTSD.
infection.
That is
I know what a
PTSD.
yeast infection really is. I used to have to eat yeast infection.
Yeah, that's PTSD. Like,
I
and
know
that's
I was.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
I smell it now and I be like, she got
And
a yeast infection.
that's a trigger, and that's taking you
The
back to
smell
that
from
memory,
girl,
right? And I know we're laughing because this oftentimes
It's always funny with a man. You know what I'm saying?
But it's uncomfortable. That's why we laugh. That's why we joke.
It's a man.
And
It
I'm
happened to a man.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Wax,
But I
how
find it
old are you?
ironic. The same,
Like
similarly,
4 to 9.
he was in a basement.
Yeah.
I was in a basement.
Let her talk. Okay.
Similarly, he was in a basement, forced to do something under duress, under coercion. I'm assuming the people that made you do that were older than you.
Yes.
How old
And
are they?
I could tell they was getting molested because they knew like too much, and you could tell it just smell like I know they was having sex. They was too young too. They had to be like 9.
Hold on.
So they jumped you, and you've been
No,
going around
no,
jumping
no,
girls.
Tell us
I
the
just one
story.
at a time with two of them.
You were 4 to 9 years old.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
And
I'm
then
so
9 I was
sorry.
getting molested.
4 through
the
9.
whole
And then,
time.
so what would happen? Who are these people? What would they say?
Nah,
That's
they already
so
knew what
sad.
time it was. I knew I had to go to the basement around that time. At first, it was like, that's our hiding spot.
Okay,
And,
so
it was a little touching here and there.
So they would tell you to touch them.
And how old were they?
Like probably like 9.
Because they were probably,
being
they were.
molested. Like
See
you
how
were
it's a
saying.
cycle.
That's why I
It's a
said that.
cycle.
Yeah, that's why
It's
I
a
said
cycle.
That.
So-
hurt people.
Okay,
Yep,
so
hurt
so
But I don't say that I did that. No.
No,
I
but
was
here's the
never doing
thing.
that.
Let me be very honest with you, and this is no judgment. There is you probably have a little bit of a tainted history, and there are probably some women who do feel as though you cross the line. But the problem is, hold on, let me finish. It's not necessarily all your fault because you are still processing the abuse. Oftentimes people who have been abused, if they have not done the work, if they have not gone to therapy, they become the abusers themselves. Trust me, I know it. I know it.
It's true.
I
Why
know
you
it
mean
very
I'm
well.
smashing hard or fast or something?
The idea that, these girls knew what time it was.
Yes.
Just like you said, I knew what time it was. Are you not seeing the language is repeating
No,
itself?
I hear you, but these girls, like, they knew, they call us. They
Just
hit us
like you
up,
knew
like,
that it was that time to
I
go
knew
what
that.
time it was.
I mean, I just started joining it now.
Hurt people, Wax.
Yeah. It's not,
Listen,
again,
you're
I'm
trying to really kill me over
nobody's
there.
trying to kill you
Yes,
because
I
they went
know.
hard on me earlier. You weren't in here. They went way deep on me and way
That's
hard on
cool.
me. So I want you to know that
it was consensual.
like rape.
It was very consensual. I need us all to know.
No pun
we ain't
intended.
go hard or no nothing. We asked questions. We had a
Yes.
conversation.
I also got a lot of sisters, a lot of nieces and stuff like that. So, and I never even had a problem ever getting pussy. The only thing it probably did make me do.
I bet you didn't have a problem getting pussy. You're 6'4", 240, strong
gonna
as an
say
ox.
no? Like if a woman's scared, she probably wouldn't say no.
I never put myself in position.
Wax.
Like a lot of girls try to smash me before I try to smash them.
Lex, can
of
I
course
defend
like pussy.
you here? Have you ever had a girl say no?
Never.
Well, then you might have raped a girl.
Have you ever listened to a girl when she said no?
Well, no, he said a girl never said no.
I mean,
I've heard girls say,
Could he hear it?
have
and
girls
did he
told you
listen?
stop? I've heard girls tell you stop.
girls probably told me to like slow down or something because I smashed fast.
No, stop. I don't want to do this, Wax.
I mean, Wax, has there ever been a girl, because I know this for a fact, there's been times where you might approach a girl, you be like, yo, come upstairs, and she says no, and you respect that. You don't grab her by the wrist and
Who's
say, we're
on
going
drugs? Hell no.
I'm trying to defend you, so when
That's
I ask
what
you
I'm
the
saying.
question, has
That's
a girl ever
crazy.
said no? You got to say yeah.
Nobody never said no to me, and I was like, no, fuck that, come on. I'm like, the fuck? I never had a problem getting pussy ever, and I don't never mind jerking off. So it's like, I don't get it.
Dr.
I would
Hope,
never
do you have a
that.
diagnosis for this young man?
No, I think that we kind of just explored it very deeply. It's the idea that one, hurt people. Not to say he's out here hurting people on a regular basis. Somewhere in his history, you may have hurt someone, perhaps. We don't know. We're not going to
Probably
look
told
back.
her pussy stink.
We're not
That's
going to. We going to look
probably
because you had a
more hurt.
PTSD impact. Yeah, if you like, bitch, yo, motherfucking pussy stink. It probably was you going back psychologically to that space where you was like, I had to eat yeast infections for hours.
I'm telling you.
So it probably wasn't even really a smell. It was just.
It might have just been a trigger.
Yeah,
It might have been.
yeah.
She
No,
might
her
have not.
pussy stink.
And
Her pussy
maybe
stink.
she did have her odor was not like
wasn't.
wonderful, but whatever that odor was, it was a trigger.
Horrible.
Brought
It was
him
a
back to
trigger.
that. Brought him back to that basement.
And that and
So you
that
never
sucks.
told a girl her pussy stink before? You never smashed stink pussy?
I've smelled stink pussy and I ate stink pussy and I had to hold my breath once.
I know.
But that was when I was very young. Is that rape?
Why?
For telling her that her
No,
pussy stink?
that her pussy smells and she knows it and she still makes you go down on her.
Why did she make you? Did you say no? I don't want to do this.
No, because I thought it'd be rude.
Ooh, but see, that's a part of it.
Yeah, because I didn't
thought
want
it
to
would-
hurt her feelings.
Exactly.
So I'm a
Similarly-
thriver?
So it's similarly, I mean, it's a gray area. Let's
Yeah.
be really respectful to people out here
Yeah.
who have definitely
Yeah.
Been raped.
been raped and experienced
So
some
if you're a
violent
girl
things.
and you know you have like some bacterial vaginosis or whatever,
That doesn't affect it. You can have sex on BV. It just smells.
that's what I'm saying. So if you know your shit stinks and a guy's going down on you, that's a little bit non-consensual.
It's not really consensual. It's
You gotta
uninformed.
tell him. You better
But you
tell him.
probably you ain't gonna have to say nothing because your pussy gonna do all the talking
It was talking a lot.
with an odor.
was
But
screaming.
just so we know, you can have sex on
Say
BV
again?
and it's not a big deal.
Bump on your lip.
I don't have a bump on my lip. What are you
It's
talking
always
about?
there. Probably going
No,
away
I don't
now.
put. No. That was a bad experience. This is how bad it was. I ate French fries later that day, and as I brought the fry to my face, I fucking
Still
almost
smell.
threw up. It was under my nails. I go out to eat with her afterwards, right? And I just go, "Heh," the second I put it to my face.
So what you was doing? You was fingering her while you was eating it?
No,
That's so
I literally did this. I went down, I smelled it, and I came back up because it was too much to be down there. It was like when you put your face close
So
to an
how long
oven.
do how
You know
long
when
was
you
eating
open
it?
up the oven for the turkey to see if it's ready,
And
the
that
fucking
blast,
fumes.
yes.
Yeah.
And your eyes start
Literally,
watering?
My fucking eyebrows singed off. That's what it felt like.
God,
right?
I'm so
and So I
sorry.
go up for fresh air, and then I came back down. I held my breath, and I went.
Or she probably had a
and then
tampon stuck up there.
Say again?
She probably had a tampon stuck up there.
Why, the tampon smells?
Yo,
Yeah,
you
it'll
have
smell like
it stays
rotting
up
meat.
there?
Yeah,
If you leave it up there, it'll smell like
a month.
You can
rotting
leave a
meat.
tampon up for 1 week. What is the amount of
Okay,
time?
first of all, you shouldn't leave one in for more than 8 hours. You can put yourself
But
at
I
risk
thought your
for
period is for a
Whoa.
whole week.
toxic shock
No, 3
syndrome.
days, man. What's wrong with you?
Well,
Toxic
3
shock
to 3 to 7.
Hold on, I thought that's toxic shock syndrome.
That's a real thing.
That sounds like a video game, not a fucking
It's,
disease.
I
I thought that's what turned the Toxic Crusader to the Toxic Crusader.
Yo, he got
No, it's
toxic shock
a
syndrome.
disease. It's like where you get a severe infection, like
Yikes.
from leaving your tampon in too long. So if it smells like rotting meat, you probably have a tampon in. If it smells like fish, it's probably bacterial vaginosis, not that serious.
Okay.
UTI, right?
UTI doesn't have it. UTI is urinary tract
had that.
infection. Yeah, those are terrible. That means you had a little bacteria in your urethra.
Yeah, exactly.
And geese
think
doesn't really
straight.
smell.
No,
Geese
my
doesn't
dick
really
wasn't
smell.
smelling.
Well, in conclusion, Dr. Hope, what advice would you give for wax going forward?
Therapy.
For real?
I mean, listen, you're a grown ass man. You're gonna do what you want, right?
I'm saying, like-
but my hope is that you can process the trauma that you have experienced. Because first of all, you're a black man in America, so we know you have trauma every day. Second of all, based on the information that
Used
I
to
have
it
gotten
now.
from you in this session, you definitely have some things that you might want to process. It would probably lead to better relationships. I don't know if you're married, I don't know if you're single, I don't know if you're a player, but a tendency to run through relationships is probably associated with your attachment style and your inability to commit sexually to one person because you were
That's what I
exploited as a
said.
child.
I said that's probably what
She
it
just
took.
read your horoscope,
It probably
Wax.
was like, because my appetite for sex is real high. So
Well, that's because you're still hurting. You're still abusing yourself. You're not you're looking at
why gotta
sex
be that though? Why
Hold
can't I
on,
just
I'm-
want some pussy?
Nah, you hurt me.
because
Why
why
can't I get
can't
horny
because
again?
you don't have because the thing is that you're looking at sex not as an intimate connection with two people. You're looking at it as
Let me smash it real quick.
but go down to the basement real quick. That's
Don't you
what's
think a lot of
happening.
guys
I think
end up
that's
gay?
kind of
Don't you think a lot of guys end up gay because of that? Because they get tired of pussy after a while?
Bullshit.
No.
Man, you
never heard
I,
that?
I mean, I
You
think
know how
that's a
much pussy
very
this man
false,
right here get
a very false analogy of what homosexuality is.
out of control.
Right?
Don't say
End up
anything.
gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of.
But you
I'm
heard
tired of pussy.
But you know they
Yeah.
always talk about that when it comes to industry dudes. They be like, "Oh, well, he did everything he could sexually
right.
with women."
He was
So-
gay all the time.
Bullshit.
Right,
He
I
just
always
finally
say
got to the
people
point where
in
he
the
would do it.
industry
Got raped
were the
or
same
something.
people. And don't say that
Yeah,
because
he probably
people who
did.
are gay aren't necessarily raped prior
No.
to being gay.
I'm just saying somebody
No,
probably
but you
gave him
can
some
have
dope or
warped
something.
sexuality based on prior experiences.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're
Based on
molested,
traumas?
based on trauma.
Absolutely.
Hold on, hold on.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this real
But
quick.
that
Absolutely.
doesn't make you emotionally invested and you fall in love with men. That's something that you're
Yes.
born with.
Yes.
But you can have warped sexuality, meaning you for whatever you like. Maybe you like a dude with tits. You know what I mean? What
like
is
a
it?
tranny or a
You're
sex
into
with
trans
a,
and
yeah.
these types of
but
things.
that's not that would be a MSM. That's not a gay man. There's a
what's
difference.
MSM?
Men
That's
who
what-
have sex with men
Yeah.
that
Ain't
don't
that the gay
identify.
man?
No,
like
because
a
gay
trans-
would be you want to have a romantic relationship and a physical sexual relationship. To be an MSM is you don't want any emotional romantic connection.
Trannies
You just
are
Like
want.
Mr. C.
No joke. I know this
MSN,
sounds
hold on,
weird.
I just want to say this to all people that practice MSN.
Yeah.
You're still gay.
Gay as a
I'm
motherfucker,
sorry.
boy.
Two men, a
gay.
man having sex with another man is gay.
So what about a crackhead?
Okay.
What about a crackhead who just give head for some crack? Is
That's-
he gay?
What?
No, he won't crack.
There's
He's
so
addicted.
many layers of
Exactly.
trauma
That's what
there.
I'm
He's
saying.
addicted.
Exactly.
He's just
That's
addicted.
an
He's
MSM.
addicted
Exactly.
to,
No,
Or men who
he's
come
not.
out of jail. He's a man who has sex with men for crack.
So here's
All
the
right,
thing.
even about the man in jail, you said
He has
not
a man who
necessarily
has
he's
sex
being
with
raped.
men because
He's
he's in
raped.
jail.
Okay, so here's the thing. With the trans thing, you got to think about it like this. If you're a gay man and you're into men, right? That's what you like is men. Why would you fuck a dude that got titties? So trannies aren't for gay
Power and
dudes.
control.
They're for
Power and
straight
control.
dudes that
Power
maybe
and
want
control.
power control. Maybe they want someone to be able to hold them down.
Yep.
And a woman ain't going to be able to hold you down. But a 6'4" tranny that got a fucking dick might be able to hold you down.
But a lot of times you have to understand there are with trans women.
A trans, sorry.
yeah.
Dick on
Trans-
dick
They got
is gay.
trans women.
Trans.
I don't know
yeah.
what y'all talking about.
So
right
girls
now.
are trying to be men.
Yes, you
So
have to
girls are
understand that.
putting penises.
Yes,
Bro, you
they
can get
pump
that.
them up like the Reeboks.
Yeah.
So they ever try to come after you?
Like the Reeboks.
Ironically enough, I went to Black Pride in Atlanta and nobody hit on me. And my girlfriend was like, "It's because you're too white."
They bullshit.
I was like, "I'll be damned."
So listen, he likes scat too. He does the scat thing. He likes to play with dudes.
Oh, fecal matter turns you on?
What's that?
Doo-doo, man.
Poop.
Doo-doo.
Doodle.
Yes.
I don't know what that other type of shit is. Say shit.
So shit turns you on?
It don't turn me on. I just like to see other people touch it.
Whoa.
Does that make you, when you say other people touch it, does it make your penis tingle?
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's funny.
Oh, it's funny to you. Okay.
It's funny to me.
Well, again, so
Don't
that
you
would be
attach
interesting.
humor?
No, the humor part of that. So oftentimes when people experience trauma, sometimes they will not mature past the age that they
experience
experience
the
trauma.
trauma.
So him being into
Now we have finally got to the bottom of the mystery of wax.
So-
that explains
So I'm
it
9
all.
years old.
yeah,
Wax is
and 9 years. So
old.
from like 5 to 8.
Listen to this.
So from 5 to 8, in sexual development, bathroom humor is
hilarious.
a hilarious
Funny as
thing.
hell.
That's his
and
shit.
if he says that
Literally.
he was like between 4 to 9 was the time in which he
Yeah.
experienced the assault and the trauma, his emotional, there's a component of his mental capacity that is stunted at that age.
Yep.
There is an emotional
That's it.
maturity that will not go beyond that if he doesn't
I've
do the
been trying
work.
to figure this shit out for 16 years.
Boom!
Right on the
Listen,
head.
no.
Boom!
That
They say
is
that
it.
with girls.
You
you ever hear
doing
this?
shit in
Girls
high
with
school,
high-pitched
though.
voices
girls, yeah, they
have
talk
been
like,
molested.
"Hey, how are
Yeah,
you?"
usually they have a history of
They
molestation.
got molested at that young age, and their voice
and that's why their
hasn't
voice
changed
hasn't
from then.
changed.
And
Yeah.
he talks real low.
Well, that would be
When he's
against
talking
the
to
point.
girls.
That would be the opposite point because he would have a higher voice. When he
No,
was a
not
kid.
necessarily for him. It could manifest in a lot of ways, but the idea of him
The
speaking
doo-doo
very
humor.
low,
It's almost
you don't mean
insecure,
tall.
like-
If you mean like shy almost,
Yeah,
right?
shy.
Oh, no,
Again, that
we're in the
age.
basement.
Guy's out
We
of
can't.
control.
We
we're in
can't-
the basement. We can't make noise. We got to speak real
wrong
low.
with
Wow.
I'm telling you. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm telling you, y'all probably should put some. Y'all need to start a GoFundMe page to get this man in some counseling.
Wow.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with me. I like pussy. I'm saying ain't nothing wrong with me.
Nobody's saying there's anything wrong with you. Just like we're not saying anybody who's ever been victimized. There's nothing wrong
not
with
victim
you.
blaming anyway.
We're not victim blaming. What we're saying is.
This is very good.
What we're saying is
This is
that
a
what you've
gold star for
experienced.
Charlemagne.
All I'm doing is telling your truth. She's explaining. She's
We're
breaking
helping
the
you
truth.
deal with your issues.
She's dealing with your truth.
You gotta
Listen.
tell me that I'm
Wax,
basically
don't
crazy.
feel
No, you're not
And
crazy.
I'm 9 years old. That's
Don't
basically what
feel-
she's saying.
No,
right?
I'm not.
Let me answer this one question. Come on. This is a serious question. What does everybody in your family tell you?
I play too much.
And what else?
I play with shit.
And you fucked up in the head.
That's not true.
You're
That's
not
a
fucked up.
lie.
No, it's not.
You're not. You're not fucked up. You're
Little
hurt.
Roxy. See,
There's a little bit. There's just hurt there, and you have. And oftentimes, like everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so angry about this." The anger is not necessarily
never
real.
angry,
The
though.
root to anger
You
is
have to go to
pain.
anger management class.
Pain.
Knock it off.
beating
Pain.
people up, and that's why I start putting doodle on people.
Hey, displaced anger. I mean, you telling yourself it's displaced anger.
Yes.
You were lashing out from the trauma that you experienced,
No.
and now you're in
No.
it's
No.
all good, bro.
No. I
That's
put
what it
doodle
is.
on people, so I asked God to save me from something. I had a charge for beating people up, assault charge. I said, "You get me out of here, I won't beat people up no more." So I started putting shit on them.
Bathroom humor.
This happened
Very
in high
normal for
school,
5 to
man. I
8.
started doing this shit in high school. These are
I
like,
know, but I'm just
y'all
telling
gonna
you
be mad
about.
at me or put shit on them.
Do you have a website, Dr. Hope?
I do. www.mhsexpert.com.
Twitter and stuff.
Oh God.
At mhsexpert.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you for having
really
me.
appreciate you. We got some amazing breakthroughs today
Mm-hmm.
that I am very, very proud. I'm very happy that you got her here,
God,
Andrew.
yo,
Show.
Next
thank you
time-
for- hey Michelle, thanks for coming.
Anytime. Next time, can we talk about something not so heavy?
Yes,
Like,
it will be.
We
we need
need
you back.
heavy
We need you here
combos.
Like-
immediately.
wait, let me give you one more. Let me ask you this. Why do you guys have nipples?
Why do we have? Oh,
Why do
because
men
we
have
got two
nipples?
balls.
Personally, I kind of like it when a girl pinch my nipples. I feel.
But
like
do you
maybe
know
that's
why
the
you
reason.
have them?
No, I
got
thought
two
that you
balls.
could eat the. What could you eat? You could. What comes out the girl when she has a baby?
Placenta.
Placenta. And
But-
you could breastfeed, right?
Yeah, you can't. Well, I don't know about that. I'll look into that for you.
No,
But
men have nipples because we all start out as women in the womb. And
perfect,
testosterone masculinizes the brain.
perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Same
And girls
reason
got
why
dicks.
you.
Yeah.
That's our clit. So that's the same reason why you have a seam up the center of your penis. So when we think about assault and we think about rape,
Yeah.
remember we are one person. So assault on anybody. Women against men,
Yeah.
men against women. We're all human. Let's
Can I
just
ask
love
you
each
this
other a
question,
little
Michelle?
So
more.
why is it
Right
so
before we
funny when it
finish,
happens to
Yeah.
I just want to ask you
Yeah.
this one question. So you're saying when the clit is turns into a penis, so clit is basically a penis. So,
Yes, it is.
So when Wax was young and he was eating those girls out,
He was sucking dick.
he was sucking dick for an hour.
Just like all of you who go down on
No,
girls.
I stick my tongue in the pussy. I don't
That's
like to
pointless. There's no nerve in. Yeah, y'all clearly need some. You have to because that's where all the nerve endings are.
Listen, I know, but that's also the dick. I just move the dick out the way and I just act like I got Down
So
syndrome.
you sucking balls, basically.
Say what?
You sucking the balls?
I'm looking for the balls. The ovaries are the balls. I'm trying to get to the
I
balls.
like eating my wife out till she squirts. So
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm all clit action.
Great.
And I don't stop licking when she starts squirting.
She probably
either.
just pees so you get over it.
Hey, whatever. A win
It's
is a
sterile.
win.
You can drink it.
Like it.
Well, yeah, pee isn't even that bad.
It's
right?
not.
Sweat
It
is
make
worse
your
than
bed
peeing.
all crazy.
I love it.
Say what?
Bed be
Take
all
it in
out
the
of
chest.
We
control.
need to. I hope you invite me back and we can talk about all
We're
this
gonna have you
sex
back
stuff.
immediately.
Yeah, we're gonna have
would love
another
that.
convo. I think this is really productive between you
Thank
and
you
Wax.
so
Wax
much,
needed
Wax.
this.
Yeah.
Matter of
I
fact,
can
Wax,
get you some support
No,
group.
I'm like
No.
9
Wax,
years
what
old.
floor do you live on in your building?
Why?
It's not the basement floor.
This guy's out of control. It's actually the low floor.
What floor is it?
I'm afraid of heights.
Yo!
I gotta take things to get on the airplane.
Hold on. Do you have a basement in your?
Basically, yeah.
Oh Lord.
Listen,
What's wrong with that?
as always, if you listen to this podcast, you think we're smart, you think we're brilliant, you're absolutely right. If you listen to this podcast and you think we're dumb, just a couple of idiots who don't know shit, you're absolutely right about that too. Thank you for joining us. It's the Brilliant Idiots podcast.
And one more time, be sure to check out Viceland, a new TV channel from Vice that debuts this week with Fuck That's Delicious. Not Shit That's Delicious. Fuck That's